Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone's having a good Monday evening or early Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to our Iron Teeth streams here in the 1.0 full release. Where last time we spent most of stream reading off names from chat after some very, very generous folks supported the channel with gifted memberships. But today we're going to continue with some automation. We started a little bit last time and continue getting our colony up and running. We're in cycle 6, day 8. And we do have, before the first bad tide comes in, a very rudimentary bad tide defense from this area. We have multiple bad tide drains. We've got this thing that is threatening at some point, possibly, to overflow, depending on how it's going to be set up and get us that way. But we should be okay, at least for now, with this blocked off, and then no further sources directly upstream that have the ability to take care of that. We also did isolate this with some levees and confirm that there's no drains in this immediate vicinity. But I hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I saw a number of folks talking before the stream started. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, we had some kind of scary weather overnight here in the southeastern U.S. Hope everybody is all right with all of that stuff. Let's see. Anything else I need to take care of from chat before we keep going here? Tuning in from Tokyo. Wow, early for you, huh? Well, good to have you here. All right, let's get rolling here. Just to recap what we did with automation in no particular order. We do have a chronometer, which is currently turning off our number cruncher during the day, during working hours, so that beavers can work in other buildings like this fermenter. We don't currently have enough cassava to actually stick in here, but they are working on harvesting things and getting that taken care of, so that's good to know. We have also, somewhere over here, yeah, we've got Gary, our weather station, that is, before a bad tide, 18 hours, going to switch on the fluid dump and also raise the floodgate here. Now that that's been fully automated with the help of, well, automation. We shouldn't have any issues with this overflowing, so I think we're going to be good. Well, hello, Kurt. Thank you very much for the donation. Appreciate you as always. 2 more months in your membership is... Oh, no, I'm not reading the rest of that. Let's not go there, but always good to see you. Let's see, who else is saying hi? We've got Japan friendly time. Was it 7 a.m. there? I can't remember what the offset is. I know it's weird with the daylight saving time stuff. Come to Phoenix is 106 this week, and you know what? It would be nice to say hi, but I think I'll skip 106 degrees. Thank you. Hello from New Zealand. Hey, hey. Scotland checking in. Man, we got people all over the planet. That's one of the really cool things about this community is it's not just any one particular spot. It's great to have everybody here. Hello from France. Hello from the Netherlands. Italy is present. Man, we really do have everybody here. I think a month away from 2 years. Yeah, you should be pretty close. Hi from France. Hello, hello. All right, let's get going here. We have the new unique building for the Iron Teeth, the metalsmith that takes scrap metal and turns it into metal parts that we can use for various things. Looks like we've got an unstable core going off in 3 days. Let's take a moment and remember where that is. Yeah, this one over here. Doesn't seem like that's going to be a huge deal. Yeah, there's nothing else in here currently. But this was, of course, the last episode covering up or the blast radius was covering up one of our scientific relics that we wanted to harvest so we could get some science. And that is exactly what we did at the very, very, very end of the episode / stream, whatever you want to call it. 91 degrees in Southern California. You know, it was really funny because it's been pretty hot where I've lived for the past couple of days, and then I left the house today in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like, man, it's cold. It's 40 degrees right now. The other day it was in the 80s. Like, well, all right. Weather's weird. Weather's weird. Did you see the count up and count down circuit to control power surplus? There is no chance I understand how that works at this point in time. Hopefully by the end of this streaming series, I will have a pretty good grasp on most of the automation. But for everyone's edification, it should be assumed that I have infantile knowledge of computer mechanics and logic circuits at best. That's part of the reason why we're doing this. It's been in the 80s. It's supposed to be near freezing for the next few nights. Yeah, we have a freeze warning here, too. First 100-degree day in March since 1988. Wow. Well, last time I was in the Phoenix area, it was pleasant, but that was also in January. So I can only imagine how awful the summers are. But I digress. That's going to go off, not a consequence. We do have these industrial piles that I set to just regularly accept goods and not prioritize or anything. We've got plenty of trees we can cut down if we want to send a staircase down into one of these areas. There are a few spots we can do that. But we're not hurting for supplies. At this point, what we're hurting for is knowledge, which we are absolutely going to do our best to supplement as this continues going. Do you want any warnings from chat? I've played this map, but I'm very content to let content happen on its own. I'm gonna decline. I appreciate the offer, but I think it's really fun to find out things as they go, and also with the video series of the folktales on the oh, what is that? Down the Plug Hole map, which I've been informed apparently can't be found on Steam Workshop anymore, which is weird because that's where I got it. But you can download that map on mod.io, as I believe it was Drexos confirmed in the Discord. But yeah, if you want to play that map, that's where you can find it. Again, I don't know why it's not on Steam Workshop. Kurt, thanks for the gift membership to Battery Smooth. What are the odds? What are the odds that Battery Smooth gets the gift membership? Hey, and you're in chat too. Great to see you. Great to see you. Very, very glad you were able to tune in. I know it's getting late over there. But I digress. I've said we're going to get started, and we still haven't done that yet. So, like I said, we got into chronometers, we got into weather stations, but we haven't done anything else. Depth sensor also, but we took that out. So I would like to, slowly progress through the automation stuff. So we're not going to get to the crazy relays and super logic gates and everything, but I think it would be a smart idea to maybe start with something like a resource counter so that we shut off production of things as soon as our storage limit is reached. So I believe Phoenix is full. No one come here. See, okay, here's the thing. Everywhere is full, right? But it's also not full. It's only full because the infrastructure is awful. There's still land. Okay, outside of maybe like Tokyo, like the densest metropolis on the planet, there's probably technically more room for people. It's just the infrastructure can't handle it. But that's a different discussion entirely. Can you gift without being a sub? I don't know. I've not ever tried it. What are the odds of giving yourself a gift sub? I don't think you can give yourself a gift sub in terms of it getting randomized, but it might make you buy a membership before you can gift. I'm not entirely sure. Tokyo does have trains. Tokyo has amazing trains. Incredible, wonderful, very efficient trains. Unless something falls on the track and they have to stop everything for 6 hours, and then it's chaos. But I digress. Let's get this resource counter unlocked. I do want to play with this. And I don't think these have to be, in any specific location. But I'm going to try and find a spot. It's not going to be totally stupid. These little one by one areas adjacent to paths and elevation changes usually don't get used. So we're going to put this here. And I think I would like to tie this to, just for example, let's do fermented cassava. We're going to see... Okay, I want that set to quantity. Okay, so I'm assuming when this turns on, that will turn something off. Or maybe it's the opposite, but if we want... okay, measurement is 10. That means we have 10 fermented cassava, and it's not turned on. Greater than 0. Okay. Or maybe it is turned on. Oh, it's not built yet. But that would say it would be turned on. All right, I'm going to try my best not to get too behind on chat, because that derails the game, and then people who watch the VODs are like, hey, like, why are you doing so much talking and not enough game playing? Like, I understand. It's frustrating to watch. Trying the automation. Managed to build an advanced... were you listening when I said this a couple minutes ago? Advanced circuits are probably not happening today or even the next stream, but I'm going to try and learn, because people do keep telling me that I need to understand this stuff. Let's see. I would love to go to Hokkaido and see all the cool stuff up there. They keep getting rid of train lines up there, which is really sad. Because it's actually pretty big in terms of size. It's like a basically all of Japan, including Hokkaido, is roughly the same area as the eastern seaboard of the United States. And Hokkaido is like the size of New England, pretty much. But they keep getting rid of trains and replacing with bus service, and sometimes getting rid of that bus service too. So it's getting harder and harder for people to get around without having a private car, which, in my opinion, feel free to disagree, but I would much rather have access to robust public transportation than have to depend on a car to go anywhere. But I live in the United States where that's basically impossible. Anyway, moving on. Did Jakarta really surpass Tokyo as the most densely populated city? I did not know that. All right, well, don't sleep on Indonesia, I guess. You should also add a timer to delay the resource counter from triggering too many times. That I would classify, I know you might not, but I'm going to classify that as advanced after I grasp basic theory. We'll get there. 20-hour workday is a holdover from Russia's satellite dish. You are absolutely correct. Let's go back to 18. No, you're good. Always point stuff out, because especially in live streams, I get distracted very easily and completely miss stuff. Use percent for the resource counter. Okay, I know why you say that. That makes sense. So if I want it to be, well, first of all, I have to figure out how this actually works. Let's automate this with the resource counter. Hold on. Can I automate this by clicking on the building? Oh yes, that's so good. That's so good. Then I don't have to scroll down here when I have a billion of these things. Let's see. Have I seen Amsterdam infrastructure? I'm not super familiar. I've seen a couple videos on it, but obviously that's not a replacement for actually going there. I would like to do a whole lot of traveling, but it's very expensive, and I'll have to do it in chunks. I got some plans, but shh. We'll talk about those later. Let's see. Train density of Hokkaido is really low. It absolutely is. Activated train talk. Yep, the whole rest of the stream is doomed now because we started talking about trains. Yeah, there's definitely issues with the medication stuff and controlled substances and whatnot. I mean no offense, but I really hope you never master automation. My brain melts with redstone, so does mine. So the most okay, here we go. It moved chat on me. So the more basic level of it is great, but any further my brain hurts. That's where I am. But we must learn, we must grow, we must evolve. That is the way to survive in this life. It's not Satisfactory 1.2. Hello beans, that's tomorrow. But yes, we will be doing Satisfactory 1.2 tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need to get into geopolitical stuff because that's an absolute can of worms. But yes, also correct, Slepner. Very correct, and that's why you can't get it. Satisfactory beaver mod. You're not going to fool beans that easy. For personal cars are financially ruinous. Well, tell me about it. I mean, you guys don't know all of the JC lore, but a substantial part of the previous decade of my life was severely disrailed by not having access to a reliable car. And I was able to buy one thanks to everyone's fantastic support on YouTube, and I am truly, truly grateful. Like, when I say I'm thankful for the beard boosters and everybody who watches the videos, I truly mean it. Tremendously positively impactful on my life. Let's see. Okay, William, I get you. Oh, no. Okay, all right. You can't complain about time zones and then introduce the topic of time zones in chat and then expect that not to happen. I was going to bring up time zones, but I refrained because I knew you were in chat. Okay, let's see. Logic gates are literally just on or off. Yes, I know. But there's, it's on or off, but with different paths to get there and chaining things up, and my brain just doesn't work that well with the theoretical part of it. I have to physically see it and build stuff. Let's see. UX tips for automation. You can click the on-off light circle to jump to the building. Really? Okay. Oh, that's so cool. But it obviously doesn't work in reverse. Okay, so the furniture is paused right now. Is that because this is set to threshold 0%? It turns on when it's... Okay, let's go for get it because it's a beaver game. Anyway, let's set this to 10%. And I'm assuming that means when the storage falls below that 10% fill threshold, it will turn the building on. Although that may actually be incorrect. So, I mean, it's off because the, I always get confused with these. If I swap this, okay, now it's on. Now it's on. I just need to learn how to read. Measurement 0 is less than threshold 10%, it turns on. Okay. I don't know why this always screws me up. Like, it makes perfect sense when you actually read it out loud. It's just, eh. Oh, there is so much lore that 99% of you will never ever be told. Do not invent fake lore. I know I can't stop Kurt from doing it because it's already happened, but do not invent fake lore. If by Lambo you mean a 12-year-old very used Subaru, yes, it is running quite nicely. Let's see. Rename the resource counter to prevent future confusion. What would you like me to rename the resource counter? We can pick names for these things. Appropriate names, because kids watch these videos, they watch these streams. Appropriate names, so we can rename it. I know Amsterdam, going back to that, is famous for bikes and other things, but for our purposes, we'll say bikes. Most mind-melting time zones is Australia. Yeah, they've got one that's on a 45-minute offset. I know India's got one that's on a half-hour offset. And I think there's a part of Canada that's on a 15-minute offset. Fermenters pause because you set to pause and the cassava is 0. Okay, that was a little bit behind. We did get to there. Let's see. You can change the light color? Oh, here we go. Here we go, folks. Oh, this is going to be fun. Who's got a favorite hex code for the resource counter that we also need to name? Let's see. Okay, I am only 2 minutes behind on chat. Let's see. Press the paintbrush top right. Okay, I just got to the part of chat after finding it myself. That's all right. I appreciate you telling me that. Forgot TB was short for Timberborn and thought Battery Smooth was talking about a tuberculosis Discord. Oh no. Well, if you believe John Green, then everything is tuberculosis, but that's fine. Let's see. Remember, the hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. See, I fundamentally I know this, but my brain sees this and says, arrow points direction it needs to go. Like, no, that's not how that works. Name it the beans counter. All right, any other suggestions? Let's see. Function best with the rubber duck method. Explain the logic to a rubber duck out loud, and it lets you work out what your mind is trying to grasp. You know what? I think I would agree with that. So I will probably forget, but I will try to remember. Let's see. Okay, we have a suggestion for a hex code. Let me just pop this in here right now. It's D54FE3, and that is that's a very lovely, very close to my. It's not really a pink. It's more of like a magenta hue thing in my profile picture. 185 watching. Wow, really? Oh, nice. We got a lot of folks in here. Thank you very much for the dono, Kurt. Need to automate a shower tower. I knew that was coming. Place a campfire in front and make the showers turn on only when there are spectators. Oh God. Oh no. Is that possible? Is it possible to automate it based on the occupation detection of a campfire? Is there anything that would imply that that's possible in this? I don't know. Now I'm very curious. I am Stingo. Thanks very much for the $4.99. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. They say, I'm curious to know what your business travel entails because I assume your whole professional life revolves around beavers. So, I have a second channel that is all about trains, model trains, etc. And if you've seen those videos, you know that I purchased the inventory of a hobby shop that was closing, and I am in the process of essentially becoming the replacement for that place. But it's a very, very long, very expensive, very arduous process getting all of that taken care of, and that's where a lot of my time for the past 6 months has gone. So that's what I was doing this weekend, was working on that. 1.2 days. Oh, talking about the unstable core. Of course, we're going to go watch that explode. Let's see. Okay, it has nothing to do with voyeurism. No, don't worry. But yes, in terms of the amount of time I invest in things and the, I guess we'll say, percentage of my overall income, beavers is very, very close to the top. But yeah, I appreciate all the support on these videos and, of course, those other ones as well. Because, you know, as much fun as I'm having doing YouTube, and I do genuinely love playing Timberborn and talking with you guys and everything, and that has not changed. But nothing is permanent on the internet, right? At any point in time, things could change. My account could be randomly banned or whatever, and then I'd be without access to that. But something that is a little bit more physical, a little bit more permanent, that I'm also interested in, is a good insurance against the future, and also gives me, I guess you could say, diversified income streams, depending on how you want to word things. But don't worry, beavers aren't going away anytime soon. I'm still very, very, very much enjoying this, and I want to continue doing it as much as I can. If I were to hazard a guess on how to automate a shower tower, then it would be the input that projects a signal if a building is in use. Okay, so which automation is that? Now I'm actually genuinely curious about this. Which automation is that that would allow that? Population counter, possibly? I don't know. Unless it's a thing where you can tie a relay to a building. You know, it's only 80 science. Let's just unlock this. Let's place this down and see. Oh god, here come the logic gates. Input signals. So is this like a redstone thing where you place redstone going into or coming out of a block, and then as the state of the block changes, it sends a signal, or how does that work? Okay. Oh, okay. That's really smart. Gate in front of a campfire. If there's a pent-up need, the campfire will be visited. There's no building in use monitor. Okay. Okay, and the gate can be. I know the gate can be opened and closed via a signal. But does that work in reverse? Like if a beaver goes through a gate, does it send a signal somewhere else? Automation is base game. Yes. Everything you see here is base game. They surprise dropped the automation like a week before 1.0 launched, and that is maybe the most impactful change they've ever made to the game, outside of maybe Badwater, because when that was introduced, it completely flipped the mechanics on its head. Is there a stuck stupid beaver sensor? We're gonna find out. I've got ideas, and you guys have submitted clips of audio recordings that you want me to use for that. Mod for resource counters, you can turn it on and off and have harvesting planting. That's helpful. Got to get to the core soon. It's in a half a day. We're going to get there. I just want to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody in chat, because it's very important to me that we interact that way. As big as automation was, it was a total surprise. Yeah, I mean, and people had asked about it. I don't want them to actually build this here. People had asked about it for a while, actually. And I know I specifically made some comments about in various videos about how cool it would be to have a way to automatically prevent beavers from going somewhere. Relays. Just take in a signal and modify. Does not take in one input and output the opposite. Oh, okay, no. Not as in the not gate, talking about functions of it. Takes in one input, outputs the opposite, and takes in two inputs and only outputs if they're both on. See, I understand those three. Those three I've got a very good understanding of. It's when you get to the more complicated ones that have different states based on multiple inputs and multiple different factors, and that's where my brain starts turning into goop. You want a text-to-speech stream? I am very reluctant, not because of you specifically, but I'm very reluctant to have a completely unmoderated, automated text-to-speech function in a live stream where I know people watch with their kids, because you know exactly how that's going to go. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be funny. No, I would absolutely. I'd be laughing so hard I'd probably choke. But yeah, I do want to be respectful of the people that watch these as a family and not cause problems with that. Well, happy birthday, Robert. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you had a good birthday. Maybe you should set the resource counter from 10% to 80%. Yeah, we'll go automate it a little bit higher later. I just want to make sure we don't miss this unstable core explosion, because I know people like to see that. So we'll speed this up here and then slow it down when it gets down to 0.1 days. There we go. Somebody saying something about an HTTP sensor. Live stream the HTTP sensor could trigger fireworks when gifting subscriptions. It absolutely could. And that's a great implementation for it. Hopefully we can get there. But I do have a little bit of concern about HTTP sensors and like internet inputs interacting directly with my computer. So I'd have to be absolutely sure that it's going to be secure. But I do like that idea. Head programmer for Timberborn made a tic-tac-toe in-game. That's cool. And boom. Alright, so there's your explosion. Enjoy that. And I had my finger on the wrong button. This one's not activated yet. I don't know the order in which they're going to activate, but let's come back over here. Change this threshold to 80% because we have such a small storage. We only have the 200. But that will allow them to kind of move around, so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, TTS opens things a bit too much. If I ever did text-to-speech, it would be, like, extremely heavily moderated. But I try to read chat a lot, and I think it's more personal for me to physically look at the chat stream. And this is the kind of game that allows you to do it. Obviously, if you're doing something like, say, a first-person shooter or whatever, then you're not going to be able to take your eye off the screen that much. My crowning achievement for Timberborn 1.0 was playing Bad Apple and Timberborn within 24 hours of the launch. Yep, absolutely. And it's like running Doom. Like everything that has the ability to generate moving shapes and can be set to music or whatever, you're gonna have Bad Apple eventually. So congratulations on being breaking the 24-hour barrier for that one. You have a second stream for TTS after the kids go to bed. Yeah, Beavers After Dark. There you go. If you need me to write a script, let me know. It's only locally... it's only locally accessible. Okay. I can't promise I can get to you very soon because I got a ton of stuff going on. And I know Bombing About, I don't think I've seen Bombing About yet. But Bombing About has offered again to get me set up with the beard booster lists. I have to find the time and set up a call that's going to work for everybody. Rent a server? I'm not paying for that. I mean, tax-deductible business expense, technically. Kind of lame explosion, not going to lie. Yeah, but also... it's fine. Expecting a nuke. Well, there's the big ones in the map we're playing with the Folktales, down the plug hole map. I would imagine, based on what the write-up for the map said, those are probably pretty big. I don't know how big, but... we'll see what happens. I have no idea how he did it, but Zedek made an in-game live stream of the game he was playing. Well, that's because Zedek is like legitimately probably one of the best Timberborn players out there. I have not had a chance to watch a ton of his stuff, but I do know that he's always doing crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. Oh, jeez. I'm not going there. Only a matter of time till we get rickrolled in Timberborn. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, or if it has happened, that it hasn't gone viral. Wanted to ask a question about Satisfactory. Forgot what it was, but something about your starting locations. Well, whenever you remember, let me know. And of course, we're going to stream tomorrow, same time. Same bat time, same bat channel, or whatever. But we're doing the what's it called? The Rocky Desert, I think. It's not Northern Forest because that's the crazy one, but it's Rocky Desert is the one I'm going to be starting on. How does HTTP work? Can everyone do stuff? Because that would just be chaos. It's basically just input from some source, however you want to define it. I don't know exactly. Battery might be able to shed more light on it. Keep in mind that in some of the explosions, like in Pressure, because it's also supporting cave blocks, will be more detrimental. Yes, that's true. If it removes supports, then that's absolutely going to be a problem. Hey, what's going on? We are playing Timberborn, or rather, I'm mostly interacting with chat. But we're in the process of figuring out more automation stuff. We've got a resource counter hooked up to this fermenter that when our stock of fermented cassava goes below 80% of capacity, it turns the building on. So we will need to plant some more of these in due time. We do need to keep some berry bushes because, of course, this is the Iron Teeth. But we're going to want to get into some irrigation sooner rather than later. And this, I'm trying to remember if this is a pass-through. It is. So if I irrigated this, then we do have to be wary of something coming in through here. You know what? That is a very good thing for us to have learned, because if I don't fill this in, and this overflows, which it will because I have these levees here, then that means this will become bad water, and then that could flood our town. So we got to get beavers down here. We have stairs unlocked already. Let's get our emergency response team in here. Can I? Oh, nope, I missed the ball on that. That's fine. Let's get these guys down here. We're going to go into the tunnel, and then I'm going to, let's see, I guess right here. Yeah, I can get away with just putting 2 levees. That'll keep us safe, and also not look totally terrible. Yeah, we'll get them to take care of that. That'll be a nice project for them to work on while I continue reading chat. Hammerby, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate you. FPS would be kind of fun. Anyone good enough to code Wolfenstein 3D with beavers? I would be very interested to see that. I'm not good at games that require combat in any degree of imagination, but that would be a very interesting thing to see. You found it? That flooded my game. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you guys have not told me what happens with this map when things go off, because, again, I think it's more fun to just figure it out for yourself. But I am also very, very glad we found that. You could also set it up to scrape the chat for the word beaver, and every time beaver is said, it turns it on or off. That would be fun. I really do like the idea of it doing stuff based on what's said in chat. But we have to be careful with what those would be. Timberborn identity. Yeah, that's a good one. Joining 30 minutes behind, watching at 2 times speed. Well, we'll see you soon, MP3. All right, they're taking care of that. We don't need to check in on them. But we do, like I said, we do need to plant some more cassava. So let's turn this into a farm. We've got plenty of science. We already have fluid dumps unlocked. This is, technically not the optimal whatever. I don't care. It's going to be okay. Let's just put in a fluid dump here. Again, we're on normal mode. We don't really have to be that worried about conserving resources. But this, I don't really feel like we need to automate, because it's either on or it's off. However, for the benefit of having a smaller workforce, and also because I'm theming this entire live stream playthrough around let's learn automation, we're going to automate it. So that is going to require, because it's only clean water, it's going to require a depth sensor, and we can just put that right next door. We can automate this based on the depth sensor, and we want, when the measurement of, oh, here we go again where I'm going to make a fool out of myself. We want this to be on when the measurement of the depth sensor is below the threshold, which is what this would be when I change this to the less than sign. So that's going to turn on the depth sensor, which is going to turn on the fluid dump and keep this at about 50%, which then will also allow us not to have this staffed all the time. I'm pretty sure that's right. Pretty sure that's right. We're going to find out. What map is this, by the way? This is the... Oh, it starts with an S. Spillage? Spillage sounds right. It's one of the maps that comes with the game. It's in the unconventional section toward the bottom when you're starting a new one. Boom goes the dynamite, sets off any available dynamite in the map. That is terrifying. Although, for that, there is a detonator, but I think it has to be directly physically attached to dynamite. It says arms of dynamite underneath it. I do not own a hot tub. Next question. Thanks for being here, Redneck. I'm seeing people say that you're saying goodbye. When did that... Why do I not see a message from you? Oh, this is on top chatting. Come on, YouTube. Why would it have hidden anything from you? Oh, okay, it was just further up. Okay, I just need to make sure that I don't have anything else I'm missing. Yeah, why in the world did it hide your stuff? You've been a beard booster for like 2 years. YouTube, what are you doing? What are you doing, YouTube? Stop it. Birthday's on the 25th. Well, happy early birthday. I'm sure I'll see you in the live stream before then, but you'll get your private hot tub stream. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. It's not gonna be me, whoever is streaming it to you. Okay, so this is that should not be paused. I must have done this wrong. Oh, this isn't done. Okay, that's why. 3 beavers short. Am I? I have 4 extra beavers. I don't know where you're getting the 3 beavers short from. Yeah, these are already massively deprioritized. Also, we can automate these with a population counter, by the way, but we haven't done that yet. Off to ride trains in Shinkansen for 5.5 hours to check if battery is smooth or not. Check if a battery is smooth. Okay, I'm sorry for reading incorrectly. If not, then do the whole 5.5 hour. Where the heck are you going? I mean, obviously don't dox yourself, but from what I know about the Shinkansen network, 5.5 hours is enough to basically get you halfway across the main island. Or Tokyo to Shin Hakodate, I think, is about 4.5 or 5 hours. Anyway, very interested. Obviously, again, don't dox yourself. How large are the automation sensors? 1 by 1 by 2. I believe they have changed some of these to be... Like, this one used to be taller. They made it a little bit smaller. Okay, which sensor? Oh, they all vary. This one looks like it would be 2 blocks tall. Obviously, that doesn't fit there. The lever, or the lever, depending on your flavor of English, does not fit. Flow sensor does. I guess I could just show all of these. Depth sensor does. Contamination sensor fits. Chronometer does not. Weather station does not. Power meter does not. Population counter does not. Resource counter does not. Science counter does not. Indicator does. Speaker does not. Fireworks launcher fits under one high gap. Do the fireworks just phase through the ground? Is that how that works? Detonator obviously needs to be on top of dynamite, but it looks like it'll fit. Timer does not. Memory does not. HTTP lever does not, and HTTP adapter does not. So it looks like the hitboxes on these are basically exactly what you see. So if you didn't know, now you know. Alright, now I am still a couple minutes behind on chat. Let's just check this here. 2 times speed minimum. Alright. Which way is north? Well, this is a map that's longer than it is wide, so I'm going to say the direction we're looking right now is north. Like, uphill would be north. Alright, so this is now on because the level is low enough, so I think we are... I think we're good. I know we don't have a lot of water stored up right now. You know, I just wanted to get this set up. But we are going to continue pumping since this is basically infinite. Let's get a couple more water pumps in place. I can fit that there. I can fit that in there just like we've done in that other spot. And we do have the extra beavers, so this works totally fine. I have not unlocked medium tanks yet, but I do have gears, so let's go ahead and get that. We didn't do a lot of unlocking last episode because we were so busy with the chat and all of the gifted subs and everything. Memberships, not Twitch, whatever. Let's get this medium tank set up for water. And these can be set to supply because we do have... do we have a hauling post? Or yeah, we do. Okay. Never get to see you stream. This is weird. Well... Welcome anyway. I hadn't been streaming for a while. I've been exceptionally busy outside of YouTube, but we're getting back into it. Yeah, you know what's funny is I changed the chat to live chat before I started stream, but I guess because I popped out the chat window, it reset it, which is annoying. Program a set of fireworks for super chats, also a very good idea. Any super chat over a set amount triggers fireworks for some amount of time. Is fireworks something we have to make like in Minecraft, or is it just infinitely launched from the fireworks launcher? I don't have, no, I do have all the materials for it. I forgot I had made the wood workshop. Could we get a chat-controlled HTTP lever to blow up the water storage? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, now I'm 4 minutes behind on chat, and it likes to scroll me to the very bottom as soon as I try to look through it. Same tunnel killed 22 of your beavers last night. Unfortunate, but they will not kill ours. Got a beaver that's idle. We have 2 that are idle. We're going to get to them. That's also part of the reason why I tend not to, you know, play on live streams on 2 or 3 times speed, because then too much time can pass, but it's fine. Why is the number cruncher paused? To preserve the power of the geothermal engine, because it only generates 400, and this consumes 500 no matter what. Because I want to be able to utilize other stuff. Let's see. I'm not going to be doing cosplay streams. I haven't ever streamed on YouTube with a face cam, I don't think. I did on Twitch very early on. Way before I did Timberborn. Let's see. Didn't play Timberborn in a while. Had to learn it from the beginning. That's the way it goes sometimes. Let's see. Did I miss context? I don't think I did. What's my flavor of English? American, unfortunately. But I don't know. I mean, there's enough stuff about British English that makes me go like, what the heck's wrong with people, that I guess I shouldn't be complaining about American English. Let's see. Isn't the sensor going to bounce the fluid dump on and off rapidly? Didn't you have to... You know what? You are exactly right. Because this, once it gets to that threshold, should. Okay, so that was... I believe the solution... I don't have it on a thing, but let's... oh, I don't have metal blocks. I can't build a timer yet. Yeah, I don't want chronometers. So we need to get metal refining in before I can build one of these timers. But I believe that's exactly what this is going to do. Do you want to automate the pumps to pause and drought? Yes! Yes, that is very... Okay, I'll need another weather station to do that, because this one only activates in bad tide. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you guys for keeping me on task with all this stuff. I know it's hard sometimes, but we'll need... I can't get to this one, but we'll need another weather station. We'll just put that up here. So obviously it's not Gary, you know, because there's only one Gary. This one will have to be set to drought. So I don't want this to activate early. I'll just have these set to pause. So we're going to automate based on that. Automate based on that, and then we'll have to set our stuff. All right, so I want this one to turn on, meaning it'll... wait a second. No. Okay, let's hit pause. I've just done the opposite of what I want to do, and I know I'm still behind on chat. So while we're paused, let's catch up here. Thank you very much for the additional support. I am Stingo, if that's actually what it is. Is it Sting 0 or Sting O? I want to make sure I do it correctly. Running Man for Timberborn, let chat control the fate of the beavers in your live playthrough. Like Hunger Games. Hey, if someone wants to volunteer to code that, I know Battery's in chat, but I'm not gonna saddle Battery Smooth with any obligations automatically. Whatever. Okay, within reason. Whatever people want to see, I will attempt to make happen at some point, but I can't make any promises. But that does sound like an interesting idea. Let's see. Yep, did have to add the timer. We're 4 minutes behind on chat somehow. Make them at the dynamite manufacturer. Make what at the dynamite manufacturer? 2x2 spot by the builder hut that would be perfect for another medium water tank. Okay, where is that? Where did I put the builder's hut anyway? Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, let's do that real quick before we forget. Also, that is not the correct key. I know I should have duplicated the other building. Old habits die hard. With a vengeance. Let's see. Have to make the fireworks in the... Okay, that's what it was. Fireworks in the explosives factory. What's the recipe for that? It's probably going to tell me. Oh, that's so cheap. That's so cheap. Okay, we can absolutely do that when the time comes. Oh, and then everybody in chat saying that as soon as I wasn't able to read it. Slepner, thanks for hanging out. Sorry I didn't catch this until you're probably already gone. Can someone explain the fluid pump on top of the water seep because it's confusing you? Okay, so what this does is this keeps the level above the threshold for this water seep to activate, which is useful when a bad tide happens, because if it's already too deep for it to turn on, then it cannot put out bad water. So that's why I have this automated with the help of Gary, the weather station, to 18 hours before a bad tide. Turn on, get that level above 0.8, and obviously the floodgate also closes to facilitate that. And therefore, no bad water can come out. It's... I don't know. Some people say it's cheesing the game mechanics, but I would make the argument that that is exactly why this combo exists and why this building exists, to allow you to take advantage of that. With the power of knowledge. Alright, let's see. Use temperate for the weather station. But I also... Oh, actually, you know what? Temperate makes more sense. So we'll get that taken care of. Yeah, now we can unpause, because that problem was solved. Alright, still trying to catch up. We're only 2 minutes behind. No. You gotta use reason here. The statement, whatever people want to see, I'll make happen, within reason. And I'm not gonna, like abuse people's kindness for offering to help code to make that happen. But yes, we can try at some point to do something fun like that. Best way to minimize bunching or bouncing, I'm not sure. Probably. Oh, here's Bad Tide, by the way. Use 2 resource counter sensors and 1 memory. I'm going to have to figure out how that works in due time. Now, let's see. All right. I think I'm finally at the bottom of the chat scroll. Okay, we're good. I was watching Nailus, and he did 3 weather stations and 3 relays using the not triggers to deal with all 6 potential weather conditions. What are the 6 weather conditions? I thought we just had drought, bad tide, and temperate season. Or is this person using a mod or something? How do you play? That's a very, very broad question. Are you like saying philosophically how do I play, or are you asking for a complete tutorial on the game? I don't use Reason, I use Fruity Loops. I also have FL Studio. Not very good at using it, but... let's see. If you don't send every single beaver into bad water ASAP and remove their access to food and water, you're cheesing the game mechanics. There's probably somebody that would say that. Get back to farming. We're farming. We're already going. But yes, we need to build more farms over here, and that was the original purpose behind what we were doing with this. So, I'm going to pop in... I guess a farmhouse right here probably makes sense. Let's go ahead and get some cassavas. I need to make sure that in a bad tide, this land is not going to become super contaminated. I know down here already we do have bad water sitting here, and it hasn't contaminated above because, well, bad water generally doesn't do that. But it looks like we're not going to have to worry about contamination overreach except maybe in this tunnel once this fills up. So I think we should be okay. And if not, then lesson learned. But I'm going to pop, maybe not in the tunnel, but also it's going to allow me to do it. So for the sake of science, I'm going to stick some in there. And since we have a farm that is going to be able to plant that stuff, obviously there's more work that it can do. We maybe don't want to completely fill this up and only have one farm, but we'll get there when we get there. Soybeans to be processed do require the canola oil, but there's nothing saying that we can't build one of these. We just have to remember what we've set forth upon the road to doing and take care of things accordingly. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I know things scale very differently depending on the route that you are attempting to take with everything, but we will we'll do our best to get everything taken care of. I do want to plant the canola early because it does take time, because everything takes time. Let's do... I'm not going to have the path go any further than this. In fact, I don't need it to go in here at all. So we can remove these. Everything past the fluid dump we do not need. So, I know soybeans are like little crying baby men, and they don't tolerate anything. So I will probably have to have the entirety of the inside of this cave be cassava. Is the range? Yes, okay. And then before they plant too much more of this, I will extend... I was on the wrong thing. I will extend the soybeans to wherever they will reach. Right about here. We'll call that good enough for the soybeans. I'll do cassava here. And then, for right now, that probably should be okay. We can't quite get through the corn of the eggplant yet, although it's not that far off. Maybe we should have planted it anyway. But for now, this is fine. Alright, so that gives those guys a decent amount of stuff to do. Sorry, I'm still several minutes behind on chat. Folktales Episode 2 was supposed to be today. I didn't get home until super late last night and did not have time. I'm hoping to do for tomorrow after the stream is done. Other 3 weather conditions are not temperate, not bad tide, and not drought. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Thank you very much for that explanation. Okay. Combine Nerd wants tutorial because the brother bought the game for me and I have yet to find a tutorial. So I think the game actually has one built in. I've not played it because I started playing this game in September of 2021 before anything like that existed. But I don't know that it's possible for me to really summarize it in a short enough time to not completely derail stream here. Oh, I clicked on the wrong window. There we go. See, I'm not always smart. But I think maybe the best thing for me to tell you, since we're in the middle of attempting to do stream, is just to kind of try and observe mechanics that you see that I'm talking about and I'm doing here, and see if you can start absorbing how that tends to interact with stuff. But like the basic gist of it is the beavers need food and water to survive. You have to manipulate the environment to get those to create things, grow things, build things to divert the bad water, the toxic sludge that poisons the beavers, so they don't have to get affected by it, and then slowly grow your industry, process things. Obviously, you cut down trees with stuff like the lumberjack flags, and then you turn those into stuff like planks and gears using some of these industrial buildings here, and then you use those materials to build things. You know, everything's got the different mechanics, different requirements, pieces that you use to build it. And they do have to be unlocked with science, which of course you get in inventor huts. And you can also build buildings in the Iron Teeth faction, which is what we're playing. You have the number cruncher that automatically makes science, and then the Folktales faction has a building called the Observatory that you staff with the beavers, and then they use like a telescope to study the stars and get science that way. But there's a lot of different mechanics that intertwine to a substantial enough degree that I don't really know if it's possible to just have one tutorial that encompasses everything super concisely. You can mess around, you can just do trial and error, see what works, see what doesn't work. Probably a little bit more fun, at least for someone like me, than to just rotely follow directions and say, do thing 1, then do thing 2, then do thing 3, which, you know, that's going to get you your results. But I always gain more satisfaction from, well, almost always, gain more satisfaction from actually doing something and learning it for myself. Which, if that's not how your brain works, then that's totally fine. We all learn differently. But that would be the best advice I think I can give without derailing everything that we've got going on. I will say there are a lot of very smart people who make videos on this game. I would not consider myself to be one of the very smartest Timberborn people out there. But watching as many videos as you can from very accomplished, smart Timberborn YouTubers. Zedek is a very good example of someone who has a great understanding of the game mechanics. But I don't watch enough of his content to know if he does anything in a tutorial-type style. But I do need to make sure that I'm keeping us on track here, so if you'll forgive me for not being able to tell you too much more than that. We've run out of scrap metal here, which means we need to find somewhere else to get metal from. And fortunately, we've got this big thing up here that's going to be the simplest thing for us to do. Just stick this over here. And you know what I just thought of is this this relic is going to be flooded with bad water to an extreme degree as soon as this bad tide starts. But if you're still in chat, I forgot what your name is. I'm so sorry. Let me scroll back up. Combine Nerd. If you're still in chat, you're about to see what happens when a bad tide starts. We have these things called bad tide drains that will turn on and start flooding various areas with bad water, which, like I said earlier, is the poison don't go in this stuff that you... Part of the theme of the game is to try and corral and mitigate the effects of it. But yeah, you see this right here. It's just immediately spilling in. It's going to kill all the trees and kill all the crops that are nearby. As you'll see here, these will slowly turn into just like these dead vertical sticks that you've already got. It does take a little bit of time. There's a meter that tells you how long before a crop or something is going to die. And because we prepared for this, we do have levees here that are going to stop the bad water from coming in. And then this will overflow into this area, and then it would have originally gone through this tunnel, but we, again, prepared for that, so on and so forth. Another central theme of the game is 3D water physics and mechanics of different terrain heights and everything. Again, there's so much that it's really hard to explain concisely in just one brief moment. But it is such a fun, rewarding game to genuinely learn firsthand. And I hope you're able to take advantage of that experience. If you have the number cruncher huts or the... I'm sorry. I need to read slower. If you have the number cruncher or the huts necessary now, strictly speaking, no, but they're already built, and we have beavers who aren't doing anything else. So, in my opinion, there's no reason not to. But as time goes by and we start having more industry stuff, then we won't need to have those, and we can probably get rid of them. I love RCE's channel. I watch him a lot. I do not think I would recommend him as a source for tutorials on Timberborn to a new player. Entertaining stuff. Again, really like the guy, but he makes a lot of mistakes that would very much frustrate a lot of folks who've not got a lot of experience with the game. Let's see. Okay, we got like 5 different things going on in chat that I need to make sure I can parse before I respond the wrong response to the wrong person. Console players want Timberborn. Yeah, I see that pop up a lot in comments on various things. I don't know that Mechanistry has the resources to port it to console, and I don't know that the way the game UI works would be viable with a controller. But I also don't know enough about programming to really say much more than that. If they can make Cities Skylines 2, allegedly, work on console eventually, they made the first game work, then I'm sure this one could work, but I do know Mechanistry is an independent studio. They're not a very large team, and that was a short bad tie. The first one always is. But they are almost certainly directing their resources toward making the game as good as they can without it being a big drain trying to do too much at once. Okay, I really have to catch up on chat. I'm 3 minutes behind. Okay, what are we talking about? 1 chronometer and memory per resource can be used to automate every resource. Once activated, beavers continue working till the end of the day. Well, don't beavers always work until the end of the day? Or are you talking about rotating a specific number of beavers through different tasks? Can't imagine playing the game without keyboard and mouse. Me either. I mean, I didn't exactly play a ton of games on console growing up. But the ones I did were mostly racing games or something like that, where, you know, a controller is an intuitive and easy thing. I guess that's what intuitive means. I did play Halo Wars. I really liked Halo Wars, but I felt it was clunky with a controller when I would have been more comfortable using keyboard and mouse like I was used to with stuff like Age of Empires, Rise of Nations, which I guess is technically still Age of Empires-ish. You get the idea. Don't forget the storage by the scrap metal. Right you are. Excuse me. Let's do... I guess we have the resources to do this now. Nope, I used caps lock and the A key instead of the A and the S key. There you go. I need this to be turned into something else. Actually, no. Because we already have this here. This can be an obtain for scrap metal. Because this is still working, making metal parts. This would be a great opportunity for us to use a resource counter. Which I... Does this have to be adjacent to a road? Okay, it looks like it does. So I suppose I'll just put this here. I want this to be automated by a resource counter, and I want this to say when, not when water, we want metal parts. When metal parts fall below a threshold percentage-wise of, let's say, 50% of storage, then this will turn on. Okay. I know I'm still 5 minutes behind on chat. I'm sorry. Let's see. Platformers on a controller. Yeah, see, that's another thing that just makes sense. Because, well, that's how I played it as a kid. Ant Farm V3. What are we talking about? Okay, Spence is talking about Ant Farm. Okay. RC tried water beavers and gave up after one episode. Okay, some people tend to be overly negative on him in my comments, and I don't think I like that. But I understand where you're coming from. Again, he's an engineer, or he was before he did YouTube. He's not dumb. He's a very smart person. But he has a variety channel, and he has a lot of different things to focus on besides just supercharging Timberborn knowledge. Like I don't think he is unable to grasp the concepts of the game. I think he might have realized that maybe Water Beavers was going to be a little bit too much of a time commitment relative to the amount of content he could get out of it, and then just decided to move on from there. But I don't know. I don't talk to him. I can see, as someone who has played a lot of Water Beavers, I can see why that might happen. Let's see. Is the retaining wall tall enough? Yes, as we saw it is. I know we're still a couple minutes behind. City Skylines... Well, City Skylines 1 is on console. The second one is not, and that was something that a lot of people were really mad about at launch, that it wasn't available on console, and that was 2.5 years ago. Bad water pump, yeah, we could get one. We'll get there in a little bit. Let's see. See ya, David. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. I think you still have StarCraft 64. There you go. That's a throwback. I feel like a mobile port would be more applicable than a console port. Well, Timberborn works on Steam Deck, from what I've been told. So I imagine it would not be... well, I don't know about programming-wise, but in terms of control-wise, if you had a large enough phone and small enough fingers, it would probably work fine. For automating the water dump, depth sensor set to less than... Link to input A of a timer set to 1 day for the first interval, 1 tick for the second interval. That's pretty close to what we did in the Ant Farm playthrough. Now I remember what else we were doing. I'm going to put in a smelter on this same thing here. And this is another reason why I have the chronometer set to only run the number cruncher at night. Let's put this in here. And then... this can turn... I know this is, location-wise, this is not great. It's just because this is the power that we have right now. This will need to turn stuff into metal blocks. So where can I reasonably fit this? Okay, that's not a great spot for it, but I don't have... Oh, yeah. Guess what I just figured out? Let's... that sounded more ominous than it needed to. Yeah, let's have this set up like so. I know, again, it's not the best layout for this, but it's okay. This also probably would make sense to have a connection from here to here, although honestly, since we have scrap metal over here, it's probably fine. This is another thing that needs to be set to obtain. We don't have another storage for this yet, so that's okay. Alright, still behind on chat. I'm trying. First stream, just want to say thanks for helping me get into the game. I'm loving it so much, and your gameplay helped me figure out a bunch. I am glad you're enjoying Timberborn. And I'm glad I was able to help you. I don't really consider myself to be a great explainer, necessarily. But you can always gain a lot of information by watching other people do something, even if they don't really know how to tell you why XYZ happens. And you can definitely learn a lot about what not to do by watching people. And sometimes that's more valuable. Watch your farm water dumper for a shift to get a feel for the issue that the single sensor setup creates. No, I know what the issue is. We just don't have the resources to build the timer yet, which is why we have the smelter under construction. Why do the sensors need roads? My guess would be that the in-game explanation for that is a resource counter, if we zoom in on the building, has to be interacted with by a beaver to modify that, even though we're not going to see a beaver going in there. Again, just a guess, because the other sensors, at least most of them, don't seem to have any interactivity with the roads at all. Like the weather sensor doesn't, chronometer doesn't, but the resource counter does. So by being connected to the path network, it, in theory, could also be connected to the storage. I don't know exactly the mechanics behind that, but there we go. As a Steam Deck owner, it does work, but not that well with the touchscreen. Noted. New to your channel, but really great content. Or great content, really think about getting the game. Buy the game. It's on sale. Absolutely buy the game. It is 100% worth what they're charging, and in my opinion, it's worth much more. Well, I can't promise you won't regret buying it, because I don't know your specific taste in games, but I, obviously, am still doing this 4.5 years later. I really love this game, and everybody at Mechanistry is just incredible human beings. I have had such great interactions with them, and I believe that independent studios who actually listen to their fan bases, genuinely care about updating the game, and continuously innovate what they're doing, really, really deserve support, especially in this modern era of slop shovelware and all these AAA games that take 40 years to get made and get released with bugs. We have to support the people who are doing it right, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree, but yeah, I don't think most of you will disagree with that. Let's see. Love water beavers. I also love water beavers, if it wasn't obvious. Let's see. Shinkansen emote. Yes. Yes, indeed. It's always a good time to talk about trains. Available resources are probably linked via the road system. Okay, yep. Yeah, I'm still a couple minutes behind. That's exactly what I was thinking. Resource counters count resources in a district. They connect to the path network, which is unique to each district. That makes sense as a mechanical explanation of it. The amount of popular mods that became base game features shows they listen to the player base. Yes, absolutely. For those of you who have not been around for a really long time, a lot of the stuff that they've added since maybe going far back as maybe update 3 was either a direct response, without them saying this is a direct response to this, was either copying, quote unquote, or inspired by mechanics that people have had from mods, like multi-stage processing for some things, new buildings, new food types, changes to the district mechanics especially. I know that was a major pain point for a lot of people, because the initial district mechanics were not very good. If you go back and watch some of my very old videos and say update 2, it was enormously annoying, and they had a maximum path length from a district center that was, in my opinion, too short, to the point of being frustrating, and they did change that based on player feedback. Let's see. Hey, just found your channel today because the person I was watching was taking too long to post another video. Well, I'm glad you're here. I don't know who it was you're watching, but thankfully you gave my videos a shot. And I am going to have another video in the Folktale series, hopefully coming tomorrow, assuming this stream doesn't go super late. So once again, thanks for stopping by. Can you control whether breeding pods for Iron Teeth are on or off? Yes. They are automatable. Obviously, we are not in the point of having the advanced ones yet, but if we click on here, there's a button that says automate. So, and we also have the population counter, so you could, in theory, I'm assuming this is the default use that they were envisioning for this, have them turn on or off based on how many beavers you want to sustain. Or you link it to the HTTP thing. So, currently writing the Nozomi. Okay. Express train. Are you in the standard car, or you rocking it up in the green car? Remember the devs adding something and then straight up removing it or seriously adjusting it after players didn't like it? Yes, and they have done that a lot of times. And they've always been very gracious about admitting when they've maybe made mistakes. They do genuinely listen. Seriously, like, it is so rare to have game developers that are this engaged with the player base. And again, you should always support people like that. That's my firm belief. Remember when levees stopped irrigation? Yup. And I also remember when they changed the irrigation range of certain size things. I don't want to get too derailed here. We do have a smelter making metal blocks, which is what I was waiting on to get a timer. So let's unlock the timer. And again, this doesn't have to be in any specific location. I wonder if it'll work underwater. Let's give it a shot, because I want to find out. So what we'll need to do when this is built is we will need to attach the fluid dump not to the depth sensor, but to the timer, and then the timer to the depth sensor. That was one of the mistakes I made in the Ant Farm playthrough, was not having that in the correct order. What about making a dump at the edge of the map for the bad water pool? Edge of the map for bad water pool. You talking about like this area here? Because that's the only edge of the map we've really been that close to. Oh, you're talking about the... No, it's thorns. You're talking about this water seep, aren't you? So, part of the issue with that is, if we want it to be super efficient, we'd have to come in and get rid of the thorns. Otherwise, we'd have to build it really big, and that would cause a lot of evaporation that may or may not be ideal. We'll see what we can get into. And I know I can't do absolutely everything all at once. Oh, here we have an unstable core. Oh, joy. It's this one. This is huge. I've never seen a 5 radius one. What's the maximum it can do? Well, anyway, So this is effectively going to turn this permanently on, this bad water seep. And is that going to have any downstream consequences for us? It doesn't look like that's the case, but if this wasn't so huge, then I probably would have already done something with it. We'll mitigate what we can in due time, but this does not pose an immediate threat, and this is a live stream, so I don't want to derail too much. Let's see. I don't know. I like watching RCE. I mean, he caters his content to his audience, and they expect certain things, and then he has to do what he has to do for his style of stuff, and that's fine. But definitely would not would not recommend that as a authoritative tutorial. Zedek makes very, very good stuff. And there's so many people, I can't mention everybody, and there's even some folks who are part of our community that make videos as well. I just unfortunately don't have the time to watch very much at all. But there's tons and tons of great stuff. Alright, now I'm still behind on chat. Love the district crossing sarcasm. Yep. And also, like, RCE won Timberborn of the Year. Like, obviously the community is engaged with them, and the devs are engaged with them, and there's all sorts of different stuff that's going on. And I think he gets to name a beaver, too. I don't remember if he said, again, I haven't been able to watch all of his stuff, but like, the community is just really, really great with this game. And a lot of people, I notice I'm watching some other videos, I'll see some of your names pop up in the comments. So I know people are watching a whole bunch of different people. Let's see. Oh, man, the irrigation tower, that's a throwback. They have those in the Water Beaver mod if you were itching for a difficult challenge. Did they finish building this? Yes, and it's not flooded, so that does work. That's good, because normally we wouldn't really make use of this space. All right, so now's the time where we need to instead attach this to this timer, and we need to attach this timer to, wait a second. Did I do that wrong? No, we don't. We need to have, oh god, how did I do this? How am I still behind on chat? My god. Is there available job automation? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. Game devs once answers a modding question at 11 p.m. while they were out at the bar. Work-life balance is very important, and I can't say that I wouldn't answer a question somebody had if I were out doing whatever. All right, I have to pause the game, multiple reasons, because I'm behind on chat. I really want to catch up, and I saw that I Am Hatman has done something that has caused a green thing to occur at the top of my screen. I haven't scrolled to see what it is yet, and I need to fix this. So just bear with me here. Work wouldn't spring for the green car. Unfortunate. Take care of your employees. Let's see. Unstable core is activating. Yep, we talked about that. People complain that they still ask for feedback at exit and 1.0, and I'm like, you don't know the dedication of these guys. They gave us water physics because we got sad when they said no. Yeah, again, I need everyone to understand that Mechanistry is a very, very rare breed of developer that has not only the passion, but also the resources and the dedication to actually follow through with all this stuff. You got to support these guys. Even after they finish Timberborn, whenever that time is when they decide they're no longer going to develop it and they move on to something else, like you got to reward these people. All right, working through it. I am okay. Oh, here we go. Something has happened, and it scrolled me all the way back to the bottom of chat. Surprises with the 3D terrain building. Yep, that was another thing that has become such an integral part of the game. I think some people forget we didn't always have. I'm not reading that, William. 4 minutes ago. Yeah, the seep will never stop unless I corral it. We'll get there. Choo-choo mod. I would like to actually incorporate into this playthrough if I can. I know it's not technically being actively developed, but parts of it do work. I need to take a drink of water before my throat starts closing up. I've been talking so much. The Dune map has been recommended. I currently don't have any unplanned playthroughs beyond maybe the next 3. But if people keep suggesting it, it might get added in. Yeah, we're still paused while I catch up. I'm sorry, VOD watchers. I think the bombs can be turned up to 11. Spinal Tap reference. But also an 11 radius unstable core is horrifying. 5 is the max? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he probably did name it after Patty. That would make sense. Hope the flip-flop doesn't add the new power shaft mechanics to water beavers so I can watch. Okay. I see where you're going. Irrigation tower isn't in update 7 water beavers. Oh. Hatman, thanks for the 5 Canadian. Appreciate you, as always. It could be good to automate the number cruncher to be on at night. I thought that's what we had. Yeah, this is set to the chronometer, and it turns on during non-working hours, which currently is only 6 hours of the day. But that is how it's set. I appreciate the support, though. Don't forget you can rename the automation tools. Yes. Which we have done with this weather station, whose name is Gary. Controls this. This one controls the water pumps. Does not have a name. I will accept suggestions. Okay, now I'm finally back at the bottom of chat. Will Timberborn receive more big updates after 1.0? They haven't said that they're not going to keep updating it. I'm sure they got plenty more in the pipe, although I couldn't tell you what or how much. Let's see. Hope you stub your toe. Oh, that's me. Okay, no, that's Kurt. It's not serious. Oh, okay. In response to the shower towers aren't that great comment. Understandable. Oh, no. I'm not going there. For the timer, set A to the depth sensor and set T1 to something like 18 hours. Okay. A to the depth sensor and reset T1. Battery Smooth commented this, an hour ago. I can't scroll up that far. T1 on. Okay, they added this text. That's helpful. Delays A on by T1. I think 12 hours was what I had before. Off by T2. We'll Okay, all right, good. That I think this set up correctly. So that's at 0.47, which means this is on. As soon as this gets to 0.5, we should see this turn off. 1 hour after it gets to 0.5. So be watching that. Let's see. Why not name it Dry Gary? Or not Gary. Bury the barometer. Okay. That could work actually, and that's thematically appropriate. Can't wait for water beavers on Timberpunk 2. Look, hey, you keep suggesting it. I can't promise it's going to happen. I looked at that map, and it looks like an absolute nightmare. Which I've been told in varying degrees of politeness in my comments on my Water Beavers videos that I need to stop playing Water Beavers on stupid hard maps and just, play it on a normal map so that we can actually do that without having 80 episodes. Cut down way more trees than that in this playthrough. Besides, they were already dead. One was a lightning strike. Talking about, okay, Dalton, what's that in reference to? Oh, never mind. Okay, I just saw your comment up. Got a sore back from cutting down 2 trees on Saturday. Yeah, that'll do it. That will definitely do it. And it's even worse if you don't have a chainsaw. Yeah, I couldn't do it now, but when I was, I think in high school, I cut down a rather large tree with just a regular wood saw, like a handheld one. I don't know exactly what the term is. It took me a while, and then I decided I never wanted to do that again. I think the gather flag can't reach all the mangroves. Let's okay, this did not turn off. That could just be because we're on single time speed. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. Now let's take a look at the gatherer flag. You are probably correct. Where is the gatherer flag? No, it surprisingly can reach all but 3 of them. I did not think it would reach all that way. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I think I can put it here and still be alright. Is that going to reach all the berries? Yes. Alright, we're going to move the gatherer flag over to there just so they're a little closer to the mangroves. Okay. Probably set the T1 delay to be multiple days. Do we need that for the water dump though? I don't think we do. It says ticks, hours, or days. What's the biggest number I can type in here? Okay, they did not sanitize inputs for this at all, so you can just keep on spamming. Let's see, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Okay, so it might only be 7. I do want this to actually be 12 hours. Timberpunk is not happening on water beavers. At least not anytime soon. Might be fun for, oh, am I enough of a masochist to do Timberpunk for Apocalypse mode? I don't know. We're not going to be getting to any new series in Timberborn until probably mid-May at the earliest anyway. Lake of Five Peaks. Yeah, post a link. I'll take a look. Have you ever lost a game either on live stream or on a playthrough? The only times I have ever lost a game, as in all of the beavers have... Also, you all just lost the game. Throwback to 2008. You're welcome. I have lost twice in terms of all the beavers are dead. The very first time I played, in episode 2 or episode 3, and then in Apocalypse mode, because I had set the settings to be just gratuitously difficult, and I lost all my beavers, and then I called that a soft restart after a couple episodes. But that's the only time I've ever lost a series, in terms of it's impossible to come back because all of the beavers are dead and there's no other ones to replace them. Other than that, no. I've somehow been able to make everything else work. Yeah, I did come pretty close. Did come pretty close on Ant Farm, but I did not lose. Okay, talking about trees again. One was about 9 to 10 inches, the other was about 14 to 15 using a Husqvarna 55. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. If you have to play with chains and putting those back on and everything. Yeah, I think the tree that I cut down with a hand saw, I think might have... It could have only been 4 or 5 inches, but you know, you're a kid, or relatively a kid. Everything seems like it's a much bigger deal. Okay. Timberpunk, absolutely a nightmare. There are no pine trees and no pine resin, almost zero irrigation. You have to rush the aquifer pump, running to rush some pine trees and food, or you're dead in the first episode. Yeah, we're absolutely not doing that. Not anytime soon. I might try it off stream, but doing that and like trying to plan out a whole video series, dying in the first episode is like, no, that's such a terrible idea for me trying to actually make entertaining videos. Let's see. Water beavers on Thousand Islands map. I've considered it, but I don't know. I feel like there's not enough arable space in Thousand Islands without doing some substantial dam building, and that is not something you can do early game with water beavers. Still want to speedrun to the Earth Repopulator. That is an achievement, by the way, and I have to check the Timberborn Creator Program, because I know they'd put a bunch of challenges on that. Let's see. I know we're still behind on chat, and we haven't done anything in game in a while. We're working on it. Let me speed up game speed a little bit. I got asked to do that earlier. Apocalypse mode Timberpunk with Ember Pelts. You know what? That might actually be viable, and we talked about this during the Ember Pelts playthrough, one of them, that because the Ember Pelts can get their juice, their drink need fulfilled by stuff that isn't water, in theory, that might actually be a thing that would work. Alright, see you, Crisco. Have a good one. Apocalypse mode on Timberpunk would be impossible. The aquifers are too weak. Unless we have Ember Pelts with the juices from the crops. Never heard of Timberpunk. It's a map for Timberborn that somebody made that's extremely hard. Keep hoping they'll bring a new faction into vanilla. See, I don't know. I don't know that they'd want to bring in any of the modded factions into vanilla, because all of the modded factions, at least the ones that I played, Ember Pelts, Leaf Coats, Water Beavers. Which unstable core is that? This one? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how that changes things. And I know we're gonna get back into actual gameplay in a little bit. I just want to make sure I get caught up here. Water beavers, there's no chance they bring that into vanilla. There's so much other stuff that is just fundamentally different. I think Ember Pelts is probably the closest to a vanilla playing faction, and it might not be that difficult to bring it in. And obviously, it's a really complete mod. It's not super difficult. It adds just enough extra complexity to make it interesting, but it basically anyone can do it. You don't have to really learn much else. How long are you going to go for today? I had originally planned on between 2 and 2.5 hours. We'll see how that goes. Have you demolished a building and built the same building block back in the same place? I have done that many times. I know it's an achievement. I can't remember if I have that achievement or not. Wait, I guess we could try for it in a little bit. I think I sent you a Thousand Island Update 4, Update 5 with water beavers. Yes, a long time ago. I was trying. It wasn't your playthrough. As Dr. Cudson here had submitted a playthrough. I was completely unable to get it to load because of how many mods there were and all the different versions and all that. And I was like, yeah, I've spent like 5 hours on this. I have to go do something else. But I trust that it was sufficiently insane. It's not going to explode before I catch up with the chat. I'm on the 5th message from the bottom. I think you got that achievement in the Oasis map for the Folktales. You are probably correct. You just watched the video yesterday. All right, cool. So now I don't have to worry about it. All right, let's keep on keeping on here. We've got some soybeans, and I only have this one fermenter, and I'm going to add the second. That's the wrong building. I'm going to add the second one so that we can have some fermented soybeans. So since we are processing food here, I figured it was probably in good taste for us to put in a couple of warehouses for that purpose. Let's move. Okay, I just had a thought. It's always dangerous. Let's am I going to be able to build this without it being a huge problem? Probably. Okay. I need these beavers to stop coming down here, which I know tall order during the day. But I'm going to replace this with a spiral staircase. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to have them just do a regular staircase coming down this way. So let's get to the end of the day here so everybody goes home. And then we'll take this, come down this way, and then I can have this be the connection here so I can build something there. I think that makes more sense. Alright, everybody go home. There you go. Problem solved. Let's get that popped in there. And then that is also, I guess I might have to relocate this eventually, but... yeah, this will give me room to put the large ones in as well. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. Let's see. As Iron Teeth, have you birthed the beaver from Advanced Pod only for him to get injured in the same day? So I think I got that during the the ant farm playthrough. I'm not sure, but I did do some minor time lapses for the last episode of that, or one of the most recent ones, and I think that popped up during it. I do not remember. I really should remember, but as we have discussed, I forget things, and that's just the way it goes. All right, this one is doing cassava, so I'm going to have this be the storage for... No, I'm not. I'm going to have this be the regular cassava receptacle, and this is going to be the soybean receptacle set to obtain. And then where we're feeding the beavers from needs to have a storage for that. I got fermented cassava over here. Oh, I don't need this. I don't need this fermenter to be here because I moved everything somewhere else. All right, problem solved. That's for regular cassava. That also does not need to be regular cassava. That can be fermented soybeans. So that's closer to where the beavers actually live. I think that makes sense. That should clean up most of it. That's mango fruits. That's for kohlrabi. I think we're good. I think we're good. Use a duplicate tool to move the resource counter to save... It saves the settings. Does it? Okay. Well, isn't that convenient? Well, it is convenient, but... Okay, demand is only 300. I don't know why I thought the smelter took 250. but it's only 200. Okay, so before I can do anything with these guys, I do have to, these guys being soybeans. I do have to build and unlock, or unlock and then build. That's how that works. An oil press. So, I suppose I will need to locate this in a spot that's going to allow me to have a tank. For the purposes of power continuity, I do have to put this right next to this other thing. These paths are not currently in use. They are just convenience. So I will get that removed, and then I will put in a tank right here for some canola oil. Just because that's there, which also means I have to have a storage for these. So, that, you know, that's actually... that's alright, it's fine. Eventually I'm probably gonna, you know, upgrade these, but now is not that time. So, since this is not currently filled, do I want to do this? I'll tell you what. I want to unlock the spiral stairs anyway. Because, one, I really like spiral stairs, and two, I really like spiral stairs, and I don't have ladders. It's ugly, but it works. So, you know how it goes. If it's ugly and it works, then it's ugly, but at least it works. Here it is, 26 after midnight. Good night. Thank you for your videos. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry I only read your comment 5 minutes after you left it. But I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. I only have one hidden achievement to unlock, but I have no idea what it could be. I blew up a beaver, got a beaver stung, injured a new cloned adult. Any hints on the final hidden achievement? I don't even have all those, so I unfortunately could not tell you. Let's watch this explode and watch all the chaos unfold as all this nasty water comes out. And boom. Maybe. There we go. Oh, that's terrifying. That comes out so fast. And then, of course, that's just going to be trickling. But that was a lot of bad water to enter the system all at once. And then, of course, that is going to flow to various other locations. And this does have bad tide drains. But as I said, it's not it's not an imminent danger to anything we have going on here. It's just a problem we'll have to solve later. Okay. Okay, I don't know what that's... Oh, okay, never mind. I know what that's about. Alright. I do think it would be wise for us to relocate the resource counter. So, copy settings, duplicate. Let's hit duplicate first. And I suppose, for lack of a better thing to do, I will just click that right there. And then I'm going to B for duplicate that again, but then change this to fermented soybean. That is a convenient thing to have. That is a super convenient thing to have. Okay, injured beavers. I do have medical beds, so that is not a concern. We've automated that. We've done our weather stations to take care of these. What other low-level automation stuff would be appropriate for this stream here? Let's see. Science point signal. I don't know if that's a useful thing. Science counter, unless it's a unless it's Iron Teeth, which we are playing, and we have so many of the control towers that we're getting low on science, like a warning thing. Oh, you know what? That's probably exactly what it is. To have a beaver have a chipped tooth, be stung by a bee, injured, and contaminated. That would be the only thing I can think of. All in one beaver, which that sounds completely, horrifically miserable. Alright, so, I have homeless beavers. We have to fix our beaver storage. We have fermented soybeans being made. We have fermented cassava being made, which, of course, means we also have canola oil being made. With one of the best building sounds I've ever heard. This is operating. This is operating. That means this can go bye-bye. And that is good to go. I also want to put in a resource counter. We'll just duplicate this again and have this set to canola oil. I don't know why I couldn't find that. So I don't need to have this running absolutely all the time. I will lower this threshold to say, let's say 30%. That should be all right. Or maybe it doesn't matter unless I put those on a timer as well. Oh, this copied the custom things. So for canola oil, I think we should have this be about the same color as the canola oil, which I don't know the hex code for it, but that looks pretty close. Soybeans remind me of a brown. So what's the hex code for brown? Does it have D's in it? If it's just straight D's, then that turns into what color? 6 D's. Is it going to let me do that? Okay, that's just a variant of gray. I can't remember. Okay, because I know it's 3 pairs of values. First one is red, second one is green, third one is blue, I want to say. But I have to learn. Okay, first of all, I know you know. I know it's a meme, but for everyone else's edification, it does have to be 6 characters. Forgot to set the fermenter to the resource counters. You were absolutely correct. There we go. And you were also absolutely correct for that. There we go. 00 FF00 is green. Okay, so that's 100% red, 100%. Okay, well then that means I'm definitely wrong. Oh, no. FF is 100%. You guys really about to make me try this? I guess it has to be the Z. Nope, that's just a different variation of... Wait, what? Did that not... Oh, okay, it only accepts... oh, it's hexadecimal. Of course it's not going to... Okay. Alright. It's time to actually be serious. 563 D00 is brown. Okay. That's, that makes sense. Cassava is... Oh, man, I'd say I don't know all these non-English names for things. Or non-English origin. Kohlrabies are basically radishes. I don't remember what cassava is. 0 through 9, A through F. Yep. FF is actually 2... Okay, 100% 255. I know. But I don't have programmer brain, so that's... Yeah. We've discussed this. I'm playing the pressure map right now, and it's tough. Yeah, I've heard it's hard. People wanted me to do pressure for one of these series, but I decided that probably would not be a great idea. Okay, 42069 as a hex code is not going to work because it's not 6 numbers. Is there a 0 on the front or the back of that? Cassava's its own thing. It's what Hawaiians make poi out of. Oh! Okay, I've had poi. It was like 18 years ago. I don't remember exactly how it tasted, but I remember it being bitter. Cassava is yucca. Okay. So what color do we want for that? Pink or purple kind? Well, it's already pink. So that's fine then. That would if that is what you guys want, then that's fine. That works. Let's keep doing a little bit more here because I did say I only had about 2 or 2.5 hours. I want to make sure we actually get something done for the VOD watchers, so they're not just saying, "Oh, you only read chat." Like, well, yeah, but this guy, Weather Station 1, I saw people saying we should name it Not Gary, which I think is funny. So there you go. You got Gary, you got Not Gary, and I have to take a drink here. I think it's a good idea to take notes of the colors for future runs. For me, it'll be a nightmare to remember. I agree. I will probably not remember to make note of that so I can remember it. So, you know how that goes. Starchy and creamy like a Yukon Gold potato, but even more dense. See, now I want to eat this. Yeah, I know a lot of people who like work in automation or work in programming or whatever were absolutely ecstatic when the automation came out. I'm going to be honest, my first instinct when I woke up and saw that on the announcement, I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to do this. But you know how it goes. I get like 30 spam phone calls a day, and I hate it. I don't even want to use my phone's ringing right now, and it's one of those spam numbers. It irritates me to no end. Purple for eggplant. Hold on to that for when we get to eggplant, and remind me when I build one of those. Cassava was connected to the automation you deleted, so it needs reconnecting. If I copied it, though, shouldn't it, okay. I thought it would have retained if I copied the building it was connected to. That's fine. You can Google hex code picker to visualize the colors. Not while I'm streaming I can't, because then it defocuses the game window and that causes problems. Tapioca is just the starch of cassava. Really? Okay, well, I've had boba tea, so I guess I know what that tastes like then. Any South American restaurant would have cassava fries. I think I've seen it. Okay, now I have so many ideas. Whenever I have an actual chance to go and do anything like that, I'm going to have to remember to get it. I do not have any iOS. I actually do have pretty robust spam detection on here. These are just the ones that get through. I have, not to derail, oh my god, I have 490 voicemails right now. Do you know how many times I call and talk to an actual person on purpose in any given month? It's like less than 10. No one I actually talk to is ever leaving me a voicemail. That's all spam in the last, I don't even know how many days. Is unbelievable. Let's see. I'm honestly not convinced that the do not call registry does anything, because our home number was on it back when we still had a landline and we still got incessantly called. But I guess that's worth looking at. Let's see. Yeah, so somewhere somebody sold my phone number or my data or whatever, and it has not stopped. It has been going on for a long time. To the point where if I don't have the number saved in my phone, I just don't answer it. Which has created some interesting problems at times. But it's fine. Call screen is the most amazing thing on earth. Before it rings, it asks them who they are, and spammers hang up. Once they say who they are, then it will ring and show you what they said. Oh, okay, call screening. Yeah, I can turn that on. I just don't, because I think it's annoying for people who I actually want to talk to, and if I don't get to the phone fast enough. All right, let's see. Did they say anything in this voicemail? Oh, yeah, it's always an urgent follow-up from Financial Review Office over at, I'll withhold the name of this place, regarding your application for a personal loan. Like, I have never applied for a personal loan. I don't want one. I don't need one. Stop calling me. But you can't pick up the phone, because as soon as you actually talk to someone, then it confirms the number's actually real, and then they just call you even more. And then I know this gets into issues of people desperately need employment, and these are largely people overseas who are just trying to provide for their families. But at the same time, I have to be careful not to swear. Do not insert your favorite 4, 5, 6 letter whatever word. Do not call me. Ever. For any reason whatsoever. Unless you are important enough in my personal life that it is super urgent that you contact me. And most of those people know not to call me and text me instead, because I'm almost always doing something where I can't pick up the phone. Anyway, now that we've derailed the stream for 10 minutes complaining about phone calls, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended. We got a phone call for a TV warranty at 8 a.m. on a Sunday once. It's like, what are you doing? Who calls somebody at 8 a.m. on a Sunday for, like, trying to sell them something? Stop it. Don't do that. Yes, and there's always, for stuff like this, with, like, annoying nuisance marketing, whatever, a lot of the time the people that are on the other end of the call are in some sort of exploitative situation or like suboptimal employment. And it's very important to remember that people are humans first, and sometimes there's more going on that you don't understand. But at the same time, do not call me. Do not annoy me with this. I do not have time. Anyway, we have to move on. So let's do some automation. Once again, I'm sorry, VOD watchers, but this irritates me to no end. I don't think we need to worry about power parameters, network parameters for power, unless we had gravity batteries in use. I wonder if that allows you to stop if in conjunction with a clutch. Which, by the way, I don't know if Battery Smooth is still in chat. I imagine probably not. This was a Battery Smooth mod originally that I think either directly or indirectly was lifted or inspired into the game. Let's see. Can you get the Timberborn automation to block your spam? Hey, who knows? Oh, hello, Battery. But yes, I do remember using Clutch. What, update 4 maybe? A long time ago. Wonder if the beavers get spam letters about dam insurance. Heard some of them will target you specifically to train your voice on AI. Well, hey, there's 3,000 or 4,000 hours of me talking on this channel. They've probably already trained an AI on me. So just know, I will never call you trying to sell you something. I don't even want to call people I know and like and talk to all the time. I'm not going to call random strangers on the internet. I'm not going to try and sell you garbage. I don't need your money to get out of jail. And I do not, under any circumstances, want to proselytize to you. So, if you ever get a call from somebody that sounds like me, it's not me. I can promise you that. Is it you streaming? Well, let's find out. Someone sold my number to someone in Texas. I've never been within 4 states of there. Get frequent texts about tree services, window cleaning, and voting. Oh, yeah, I get the political texts, and it's always funny. It's always funny. Because it's never candidates that I like. And we don't need to get into who it is or whatever. But I just like, why would you think, if you knew me, that I would ever support... Anyway, we're moving on. We desperately need to move on before I make mistakes. Do we want to mess with contamination sensors, or do we want to mess with flow sensors? I feel like flow sensors would be really useful for... like use in conjunction with the clutch to switch power delivery between different parts of a network, but we're not complex enough to really need that. Don't forget to take a drink reminder. Yep, I will drink my water right now. Work is finding fraud and the like. I've seen older people convinced to send money for grandkids in trouble. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. My grandma almost got by one of those. And then she realized how stupid it was. Like, no, that's not real. If this was actually something that had happened, I would have been contacted in some other means. It would not be somebody with a convincing voice fake. I mean, it just... Few things make me... And there are a lot of things that make me mad, to be fair. But few things make me as just irate as when people get taken advantage of by spammers, scammers, liars, cheaters, thieves, whatever. Like, do not do that. I say to the kind people in my Timberborn live stream chat who probably would never, ever choose to do that. Yeah, fun fact, Kurt, Puerto Ricans cannot vote in federal elections because they are not a state. They are a territory of the U.S. They can vote locally, but they cannot vote for national offices. That's not a fun fact. That's an unfun fact. But it is a fact directly related to what you said. Let's see. Okay, Dr. Cudson has posted a count-up, count-down circuit that automates how many engines are online or not based on... that. Okay, that's really useful. So let's briefly pause. I've got so many messages. Let's briefly pause to take a look at that, if I can find it. Okay, that is a different topic. When did you post that? And that was in... Once again, VOD watchers, I am so sorry, but I'm not that sorry. I don't actually see... Unless it was a long time ago. I don't actually see a post from you about that. Okay, I misspoke. They have representatives in the House, but not the Senate, and they can't. Yeah, they're not represented in the Senate because they're not recognized as a state. Isn't their House representative a non-voting member? They're just there, like they can speak and they can be recognized by the speaker, but they can't vote. Don't quote me. It's been like 15 years since I took a government class. Ooh. Professor Farnsworth says, I can one-up all of that. Partner just recently had his card information scraped from the internet, sold to someone in the U.S., used for 2 hotels in New York City and Miami. We live in Denmark. Yikes. Someone is currently using my card issuer withheld card to subscribe to Hulu. I have not been a paid Hulu subscriber in 15 years. And Hulu won't do anything about it. Card issuer name withheld won't do anything about it. So now I'm stuck paying $33 a month for some jackwagon to freeload off of me and watch Hulu. Like what's even on Hulu that's worth watching where you steal somebody's credit card to do that? Why are you doing this? Posted it 2 or 3 days ago. Okay, well, there's no chance I'll be scrolling back through a stream and not wasting everybody's time. I will try to remember to take a look later. Okay. What was I going to do? Why are all these buildings all paused? Okay, this is because storage is... Wait, why is that... Was it 10% for the cassava storage? No. Okay, it was 80%. That's what... Alright. So... I really should pay more attention to what I'm doing and not get sidetracked. Tell them the card is stolen. But then I have to change everything that it's tied to it. I have pending payments for a bunch of stuff that are going to be billed like in a month or two tied to that same number, and for reasons we won't get into, that will be an enormous pain to try and change. So I have spoken to Hulu multiple times, and the representative has said that unless I can identify the name, the date of birth, or the email address of the person who is currently using my credit card number, they can't do anything about it. And of course I don't know any of those things. They can just tell me, yes, someone is paying with that number, and for us to cancel it, you have to tell us who it is. And then again, this is almost certainly someone on the other side of the planet who is probably working for very poor wages and is just trying to support their family, and it is not appropriate to go off on them and whatever. But that's absolute fill in your favorite 4-letter word. That's... or 8-letter words even. It infuriates me. So I guess I either have to make enough stink to card issuer name withheld, or figure out some other way to do it without wrecking everything else that I'm doing. Anyway, this is a Timberborn stream, not a complaint about my live stream, because that's not beneficial. Yeah, I don't know how they're still making Grey's Anatomy. Like, what is left at this point? Like, isn't there just like one person left from the original cast? Like, how many episodes? Thousands and thousands of episodes, right? What is left to tell? I don't know. I've never watched much of that anyway. Oh no, I've disputed every single charge, and they've said no, without proof that whatever, we can't do anything about it. And of course, I can't give them that information because I don't have it. And the people, anyway. As a Brit who works in the U.S., it always baffles me about this stuff. Everyone I work with has been a victim of fraud in some way. Meanwhile, here, nobody I know has. It's so odd. Yeah, I obviously can't speak to anything that's happening on that side of the pond, but it's so frustrating. It drives me up the wall. Yes, play the game. See, this is what happens. This is what happens. people get me distracted, and then bad things happen, and then sometimes people get very angry. What were we going to do next? We already we've fixed that. We've got soybeans. We've got we're not making a ton of soybeans. I don't know if that's because of capacity or supply issues. I think it might be supply issues. Let's plant some more soybeans. We'll go here and do that. This in here is cassava. That is contaminated. Okay, so that's as far as we can go. Let's unplant these that cannot grow. Apologize once again to the VOD watchers, and then continue thinking about what else we can be doing here. Well, thank you very much for becoming a beard booster, Heatproof Bog 64. Appreciate the support. And your name will be in tomorrow's video at the very end with the recognition of all the other boosters. You've got you got emojis. I need to add more emojis. Or is the plural just emoji? I don't know. I think it is. And then when I have the time to figure out the whole beard booster beaver name thing, then that'll be taken care of as well. And every beaver that's born will have the name of a beard booster selected randomly from whatever the list is. Is it possible to pause the card for the day the charge would come out on and keep pausing it for those days? That's a very smart idea. Depends, because anyway, we do need to move on. I've not had much time the past couple of weeks to really spend any effort on the phone arguing with someone who doesn't want to solve my problem. Let's start planting some of these other crops here. I think we probably are going to want to put another farmhouse in before too long. But we'll let that be a problem when it becomes a problem. Let's put a little bit more soybeans in, because I know these are annoying. You get 2 per square after 8 days, and then when you do the recipe, it does a 3.333 repeating modifier on that, which is not as efficient as the cassava, I think, based on growth time, or maybe it is. Oh no, it's actually technically more. I forgot cassava's only 1, and then it gets 2.5. Anyway, irrelevant. I'm going to just plant corn and shut up. So let's put corn here. Let's put eggplant here. I do want to get all of these operating as best as I can. We again are probably going to need another farmhouse, but we'll get there when we get there. This is only consuming 250, but if all of these were running, this would be consuming 350. So that's probably about the limit of the geothermal engine in terms of food production. Food factory takes 120, so we will need to have additional power generation. One of the things about this map is there's, without it being a bad tide, there's not basically any power generation from moving fluids. So this could be, even though I know I don't have the access to the information right in front of me, this could be a decent time for us to try and figure out the steam engine automation based on power demand. Timberborn discussion page. Okay. Oh god, I'm not going to be able to comprehend this on stream. That will definitely be I have to figure out how machine logic works on my own time thing, and I do not know when that's going to work. Power shaft clutch. Okay, yeah. Remember, my first major in college was music composition, and then my second was communications with a focus on multimedia reporting. I do not have the computer brain. I have the use the camera and write the words brain. I clearly did not have the music composition brain because that did not work out. But we will get there. I'm hoping to build up to that. So what I would like to do, because I think that's going to work better in the short term. Oh, I don't even have a path connection to get over here. Okay, that's going to be a problem. How am I gonna fit a steam engine over here without it being a huge pain in the butt? Because I'd like to get to the back side of this. I guess it doesn't have to be accessible from the same side as here, but I also need to be able to come from a place that has wood storage, and the wood storage is over here, and I've got 2 small piles. Oh, that's these way on the other side of the map. We don't need to be using these. We really don't. So what I'm gonna do is disconnect the path from here so we don't waste beaver labor coming here and over here. Kyoto Train Museum didn't have the steam engines out and running yet, even though it's opening in 3 minutes. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, I forgot about the homeless beavers. Evergreen statement. Let's... Oh boy, this what a distracting stream this has been. Not saying that as a complaint, just as an observation. This is not going to reach here if I did. Neither of those are... actually, there's not really anywhere else I could put this. So what I'm going to propose we do, this has a capacity of 10 and takes up 6 squares. If I changed these to large row houses, those same 6 squares would have a capacity of 24. So we will temporarily have many homeless beavers, but at the end of it, we will be in a much, much better position. Let's do that. And they cannot get to these logs, so you know what time it is. It's time for us to play... I forget what the term is for it, but the programming thing that forces, by default, something to go to a specific square when it's moved. It was an issue in Minecraft all the time. Stairs from the backside. You know, that's what I was going to do, is I was going to have it come in from here, but then I got distracted because of reasons. Are you causing beaver gentrification? I guess, technically, I guess. Beaver defragmentation, there you go. Yeah, these are really cool. I almost never use them in most playthroughs, but they, you know, they look nice, and they've got, you know, they've got windows everywhere. How's that not considered cheesing the game? I don't know, you tell me. But that's just like the way it's always worked. And it lets you do it. There's an award for reaching cycle X without any housing. They do transmit power, which well, it's not a surprise tool because we know it does that, but I don't know, whatever the meme is with Mickey Mouse saying it's a surprise tool that'll help us later. There you go. Anyway, point being, I need to build steam engines to increase our ability to, well, generate power. So I'm gonna put one there, gonna put one there, then I have to connect these and get this somewhere. So I know it's a roundabout way of, you know, accomplishing all of this, but if I have a large industrial pile right here that will hold logs as an obtain prioritize function, then I can have that connected to the path network. I don't necessarily want to come through here because I might want to stack some of this, but we have access through this, and we know we can get down over here, so that is what I will do. I didn't want that to go that way. We'll go here. We'll go here, and then I've got space for some other stuff. But now what I can do, I believe if I am interpreting this correctly, is get a power meter, and then based on consumption, individually turn one or both of these off. Spiral stairs for less blueprint. Blueprint, you talking about footprint? Yes, I do. And the spiral stairs have replaced, we'll say 70% of the functionality of ladders, and it pacifies me for the most part. But there's still there's some, sometimes. Yes, take a drink, because I mentioned ladders again. I really don't like windmills because they're inconsistent, but the automation might change it. Might change it. might be Don Quixote. Okay. Okay. I don't have an annoying theme song though, so that's neither here nor there. Let's get these built. Let's get a power meter. And does this have to be connected somewhere? No, it does not, but I will put it here anyway. Alright, so this power meter says it will turn on if supply... I'm going to say turn on if demand is greater than 400 HP, because that's what this puts out. And then I'm going to automate this to link to here. So, if power demand increases beyond 400 HP, this engine will turn on. Which then means I can have another power meter set to if... I really should probably put these in a row somewhere else, but I'm just filling dead space. This one turns on if demand increases above 800, and then that can be linked to this one. So in theory, I can build more stuff now, and these will only conditionally activate. Get those prioritized. Let's see. Sorry, I wasn't here, but I was listening. I know Puerto Rico can vote for something. One of the dumb things burned in my memories. Okay, we're not. All right. They, to my knowledge, are not able to vote in that election, but don't quote me. See, now I'm derailing stream again by Googling if they can do this. Alright, I don't have time to read the rest of this. Anyway, moving on. I think this should functionally be okay. So this turned on, you notice right here, because the number cruncher is running, which draws more than 400 HP. And now it turned off because it's working hours. Alright, cool. So we managed to automate that nice. And we can now expand stuff over here. Except I don't have any more path access. We were going to have to reconfigure. But that opens the door for us to have food factories in this spot, which means I think now would be a good time to put some of those in. Food factories are very useful because they allow you to transmit power over a path if you build a power shaft out of their second story. So for that reason, we are going to want to most likely replace, I'm going to say replace this smelter with a food factory and have that go over. Okay, I do have enough metal blocks. That would have been actually ironic. They'll come and grab these at some point. I should probably put those up. But I do want to have this taken care of appropriately. I'm going to move this beautiful sound. I'm going to move this, and I'm going to move this. Yes, I know it's going to put garbage on the ground. It's going to be okay. Just take a deep breath. I'm going to put this here, and then this path is going to go... Pause. I have to think. Because I did just say that this was going to transmit power. This has to be in this spot because it has to directly connect to the output of the geothermal engine. Now what I could do, depending on how we wanted to play this, is I could put the other food factory back here and then just rotate this and put something else here, like a third fermenter thing. Or I could get rid of this path. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move the canola seeds. This was already kind of a disaster. I don't have to have these both connected to the same path, but I think it does make more sense to operate that way. And what that's going to allow me to do is come through here with this, transmit power across, and then that's going to bring power over to this side for later use. And now, what I can do is, first of all, I can get rid of all this nonsense. I can get these guys to come in and pick up all this stuff off the ground because I know that ends up being annoying. Anything else? Yeah, right here. Now I can figure out where exactly I want the rest of my processing to go, and because we have this closer over here, we can also move stuff up, but I think it's, again, better to keep everything roughly in one place. So because we have this, I feel compelled to try and put the oil press over here, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I think for right now it would make sense to put in the oil press somewhere over here, maybe. And again, it does have to be connected power-wise. That's a non-negotiable. But we could have it around here, or maybe I'll put it on. No, that's not going to work. That does have to be connected. Let's I guess just put that right there. No, this is not the most scientific way of doing this. But I do want to leave a space. Then get this connected here, and then for the purposes of continuity, we probably should connect that back, but I'm not worried about it. Alright, I've created a monster. This needs to be also supplied with storage, so I could either stack this. Actually, no, I can't stack this because they have to be able to get to it, and I can't because I don't have gasp ladders. And that, even if I went up to the left, would not accommodate anything. I could, if I started from here, go way up. And I think that's what I did before. If I have this go this way, and then it goes up again, then that would actually be at the correct height to go on top of a large warehouse. Alright, we are we're going to do some really, really dumb renovations here, and I'm sure this might irritate you, but we'll be okay. Cassava goes to the left. Soybeans go to the right. We're going to unlock the large warehouse. We're going to put that there, that there, that there, that there. This is going to be cassava because that's what I said it was, and I hope I don't forget by the next time I click on something. This is soybeans. And then we'll say this can be corn, and this can be for... There it is. Eggplant. And then double platform gets unlocked, and then we got that there, then we got that there, then we got that there, then we got that there. Then how many times can I say we got that there before it sounds like it's not a real word? Then we got that there, and then we got that there. Okay. So that, that should take care of, for the most part, our immediate needs in that regard. And also be somewhat serviceable. We do not have storage for canola seeds. But we also have the option back here to do a simple... why can't this go here? Oh, there's a path. Just do a simple medium warehouse. And have that be directly adjacent, and we can have power come out from that side. I think that'll be fine. That's going to work. All right, so now we have a substantial amount of building that has to get done, which is good because I'm sure I'm going to be distracted by chat and not accomplish anything for the next couple of minutes. I have to scroll up because I've missed so much chat. Okay, where was the last message that I saw? We're like 10 minutes behind. Oh, we are 8 minutes behind because there's the Puerto Rico stuff, which we will not be getting back into, but good to know. Windmills are great with batteries. Unfortunately, we all built some crazy power contraption before getting to them, making the windmills pointless. Yeah, I wish... I guess I should be careful with my wording because this has happened before in tabletop gaming, not in real life, but never mind. I think it would be nice if we had access in the folktales to a very detuned version of a windmill from the start. Like, I'm talking really detuned. What's the basic one does how much? Is it 150 maximum, or is it 125 or something, or is it 120? Because I know the large windmill will do a lot more than that. But it takes so long. I didn't select recipes for these. I did not. Okay, let's just say corn and then eggplant over here. And I know we have to automate these. We'll get there. But I think it would be nice if the folktales had access to, say, the power wheel, the one you run on, or if you're RCE, the shaming wheel, makes up to, or makes a base amount of 50 HP. Right? Or is it 25? Anyway, whatever it is, because windmills are just, they're not randomly activated. I need to stop rambling. Windmills are not consistent power sources, but I still think it would be nice if the folktales had access to a very, very low power version of them without having to unlock. Because waiting to get the science just means you're probably going to skip it. Or you're going to be incentivized to use the beaver-powered wheels or the water wheels. But also, it doesn't make me angry enough to demand that it gets changed. I just think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. Let's see. Need 2 power sensors and an AND. When surplus is 400 plus, turn off, and when surplus is 400 plus, and the first 400 plus has triggered. Wait, what? Okay, I don't think I understand what you're saying there. I don't know what's happening. Gonna learn what? Power meters need to be connected to the power network, and it's regulating. They're connected. They're directly connected to the number cruncher. It's fine. Let's see. Fashionably late. What did you miss? A lot. Isn't it more of demand than 1200? Don't think so. Because the number cruncher is never going to run currently. Never going to run at the same time as all of the processing stuff. And this is 50, 50, 50... 120, 120, and that I don't think is anywhere close to 1200. If I had the number crunch running all the time, which we theoretically could do just by changing this, then we might get about 1200, but I don't think so. Keep in mind this is a separate power network from what's over here, which we also could automate and get to at some point. All right. Oh, okay, no, they're not going to care about somebody with... How many subscribers do I have? 23,000 now? They're not going to care about somebody as small as me raising a snake about whatever. Do automation tools just have infinite invisible wires? Not super immersive, but with power shafts already in the game, that would be huge clutter. Yeah, I feel like it was a design choice to not make them have wires running everywhere, and also for computer performance purposes. I'm fine with it. I think it's fine. We talked about earlier the resource counters having to have path access and why that makes sense. I think they've done enough in that regard. Hit this issue today. I think they may not stock the engine if it's paused by automation, so it won't run right away when needed. Interesting. Well, let's check that. Oh, this takes water? Oh, of course it's a steam engine. That's a change. Interesting. I don't know if there's a way to counter that unless we had a way to rig a... Well, you couldn't look backwards on... Or forward on power usage, I guess, because that's not how it works. Because you know how we have the delay or the negative delay on this thing? That's not negative delay. This one has a negative delay. The early activation of 18 hours before a bad tide. That would be almost impossible to forecast power usage. Which, by the way, very, very interesting if you ever do any research into how power grids work and how they have to anticipate demand and constantly throttle up or throttle down various either generation or power storage dispensing stuff. Really, really cool stuff. I say as someone who has almost no understanding of the science behind it, I just think it's neat. Just finished watching your playthrough on the Oasis map. Love to see you try that map again, but with the Iron Teeth. I'm not going to say no. I think that would be fun, but I do try not to repeat maps as much as I can, because there's so many really cool community maps that we can get to. Let's see. One monument should do... Oh, have we added more decor to the beaver housing yet? If we can get to +2 more, that's constant movement work speed on everybody. Alright, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they changed... I feel like they changed the granularity of some of this stuff. Maybe I was misinterpreting. But no, we haven't added anything extra yet. So I will tell you what. Let's see real quick if there's anything. Oh, I see that shower icon. Kurt's still in chat. We have enough extra space over here to put in a couple of showers. That might help for the wet fur bonus. Scratchers are super easy, super space efficient. We can pop a couple of those in somewhere. Maybe. I want to save this for eventual housing expansion, but right here and right here makes sense to put a couple of scratchers in. Swimming pool can go right here. Just to add a couple things in. So that may not satisfy exactly what you were asking for, but I think that's doable. Okay. Fun fact, you need exactly 22,950 subscribers to pull Do You Know Who I Am? If you have less than that. I have that many, really? We're almost at 23? Alright. Cool. I did not have anywhere close to this amount the other day. I guess related, I got a ton of views on the first episode of the Folktales series. I don't think I've ever gotten that many on this channel that quickly. It's showing internally, maybe not the public view count, but just showing 25,000 views on that video. Which, if you're, you know, a big YouTuber, that's like, all right, who cares? But for me, that's significant. That is, that's a lot of views in what, 3 days? I've had a couple of series premiere episodes that have gone over. I think a couple have gone over 100,000. I know there's at least one, but that took like months and months and months to get there. Okay, let's go back to 2 times speed because I know people want to see that go faster. Sorry if this has been asked a bunch. What difficulty is this playthrough? This is normal. There's a couple people, I haven't read whatever comes after this message, so sorry this is already addressed. But there's a couple people who left comments saying that like they can't understand why I would ever play on anything but hard mode. And I have done a lot of Timberborn. I've played a lot of hard mode maps. I've played Apocalypse mode. I've played Water Beavers. I've done a lot of stuff that isn't normal mode. And I currently have 2 active hard mode playthroughs. So I figured, you know what, it would be nice to just have something where I could focus on learning the automation. And for the other map, which is the Folktales one, is a map that has a very challenging premise to it. I figured I didn't want to stack too much on that. So, you know, I try to mix it up a little bit. Some people apparently get, like, I'm not going to say like irate because you never know what someone's intentions are behind the keyboard, but it's like they're incredulous why I would ever play normal mode. It's like, it's normal mode. That's the game. Normal mode is the game. Hard mode is an extra challenge. And there's a lot of people who watch my videos as Timberborn first-timers who might want to see how normal mode plays, or might be annoyed at constantly having 29-day droughts and all the chaos that happens with that. So just mix it up. Doesn't mean I don't want to play hard mode, because obviously I've got a ton of hard mode stuff going on. That's just what it comes down to. And we are now 13 minutes behind on chat. Can you automate changing recipes in buildings? I actually don't know. I'd be interested to find out. Okay, this has not turned on because it is paused. No, it's paused by automation, but it's not turned on even though this is demanding more than that. So why is this? Is that because this is in conflict with this? I can't imagine that's what it is. But also maybe it is. I deleted that? No. Okay. I don't... Oh, now this is inaccessible. I know I'm still behind on chat. I'm working on it. Oh, it's not inaccessible. So why... Okay, now I know this one's not automated anymore. Why is that like that? Or is that what... That might have been what you guys were talking about. Well... I suppose... I just rehook this and then that's what it is. So that's at 390. See, this is never going to get higher than 390 based on how this is right now. But this should trip that. If I say, for example, turn that on, this is supposed to kick on, and it isn't. But we know this worked. Wait, okay, alright, hold up. This has worked before. But this power shaft is not connected. And I haven't rebuilt this. What the heck is going on here? Alright, let's get this turned around. Because I know I do desperately need to, what in the world, man? Alright, well that would explain why that didn't work. Let me get this taken care of, because again, I do need to make sure this is working. Okay, 400. Automate. This needs to be 800. And nope, that's the wrong one. And that needs to be connected to that. All right, so now, once this gets built, let's bring these in. We should see these turn on. Okay, can you automate? Oh, we already talked about. Hey, Academic Unwinds. Promise never to call it 8 AM on Sundays. Yeah, please don't. Need to rebuild the smelter. Right you are. I will do that in a moment. I just want to make sure I catch up on stuff because I'm still 15 minutes behind. Given this is a building we got to set up, we probably should plop down a quick monument to jump over the next work speed mile. I thought they... Oh, they still haven't done these. I thought they were gonna... Alright. Well, you keep asking about monuments, so, might as well. Laborer Monument. Can I get up here? Can I put it here and still access everything? Yes, I can. They cannot build this unless I put this here. Is this a good spot for this? Objectively, probably not, but guess what? It's fine. And then this has a larger range, so that would still work there. If I put that there, I guess that is also fine, but I don't have 3,000 signs yet. Alright, so now, this still isn't doing anything. This is supposed to turn on, and the demand is over 400. Oh. Alright, look. I know. I know. I didn't have it set right. There we go. There we go. Problem solved. Alright, now I can pop the smelter back in right here. I know it's super far away from this storage, but it's actually not that bad. Alright, planks are very low because I, for some reason, am still making... See, this is where the resource counter stuff could be used to automate this. I don't want these turned on unless... Well, I kind of want two, what's 4 non-connected? Okay, that's those. Or is it? No, what's the 4 ones? Oh, okay. Don't care about that. I kind of want multiple conditions to turn these on, which requires a logic gate, which I am not doing in this stream because I'm not going to have time to record a video if I try to do that. Let's go for... where is this? Resource counter for the purpose of gears. I want this to only turn on if there are enough planks over a certain threshold. So I need planks to be greater than... How much storage for planks do I have? 180. If plank storage is above, we'll say 25%, then this will turn on, and then I will connect my gear workshops to here. And then I probably also need to turn on the second lumber mill. I think that's going to work. Also, we have a lot of gears, so I don't care if it takes them forever to build this. We just need to have more planks. All right. I think we should be okay. I know I'm still now 17 minutes behind on chat. I apologize. Oh, now it's scrolled all the way back down again. Currently, I have all my resources automated to fill up. Pause and all the beavers all become builders and haulers to build whatever mega structure. That's smart. Good to see you back in the Timberborn universe again, MP3. I guess you caught up. I skipped a ton of messages. 9 unemployed builder's hut time. We do have a builder's hut. We have a hauling post that also is not fully utilized, so that's where those guys probably need to go. I feel like chat's watching a different game altogether. It's possible, because I'm so far behind. Oil press needs to be automated. Do I still have the thing it was connected to? Oh, yes, I do. There. Alright, so that solves that problem. Do 3 times speed and put a low-level monument so workers do everything while you read. All caps. Alright, so I guess you're passionate about that. Alright. They're not going to get to it before they do the rest of this building, though. Which means I'd have to prioritize this, but I don't have enough logs anyway, so... these guys, yeah, they're stuck with that, I know. We do have enough trees, they just have to cut them down. So, we will see what happens here. Yeah, YouTube is bad at sending notifications sometimes. Don't understand why exactly. Windmills work a lot better when you have a place to hang a good gravity battery. Yep, they do. Need power to make paper to make the windmills to provide the power. Yep, exactly. It's it's recursive needs all the way down. There should be wrecked wind turbines here and there, which could be salvaged to unlock huge windmills. That is a good idea, and I know they have some other mechanics in place that allow that with the abandoned aquifer pumps and everything. I'm sure they're going to keep adding stuff. Yeah, the automation's great. Again, standard disclaimer that I'm really not computer brained, but I'm managing to get this going pretty well. That's the purpose of this live stream series anyway. I think power sensor has an input on one side. Yep, as we discovered. But you hadn't seen that by the time you sent that comment, so that's fine. Haven't played yet since 1.0. Are geothermal vents for Folktales 2 or only on new maps? They are universal. On new maps that are placed, like you can't just go on an original map and have them there unless they updated it. But this is one of the new maps, which is why they're there, and you can build it as Folktales or Iron Teeth. All right. No sensors could be buried on the bottom. You'd never know they existed. Yeah, except the ones that have to be connected. But yes, that is true. Having a separate mechanism where their mega relics can be researched to get late game buildings, a bit like how Water Beavers needs the ENS for a lot of buildings, could be cool. Yeah, and I imagine they're going to continue expanding and elevating some of these gameplay mechanics to figure out more interesting ways to enable things. Let's see. On the other hand, there's a certain simplicity to Timberborn's skill tree being so simple, and the game doesn't really need in-game superstructures in vanilla. Well, we already kind of have one. The Earth Repopulator is a nice capstone thing. And remember that the average Timberborn player probably isn't going to be insane enough to do 33 different gameplay series recorded exhaustively on YouTube. They might go to completion once or twice. And the devs have to balance based on that. Well, being high score 13. That's a 5. 15. There you go. Yeah, Bluetooth, that's a good pun. I do appreciate that. I always appreciate a good pun. Let's see. What's your job in PhD? Oh, yes. You are quite an established expert based on all the comments that you've been leaving about all these other things. Why are we not harvesting the corn and the eggplant? It's probably because we don't have enough beavers to be able to get in there. Okay. I know we're still building that. We don't have enough trees yet. Let's take a very quick timeout and sacrifice a single canola so that I can put another staircase in that will allow me to... Actually, this is green. I could plant up here, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that. Let's make way for that. Let's put another farmhouse in where... Oh, you know what? They actually are going to need to have access to this. Alright, so I lied. But this absolutely can be connected. You know what? You know what? This direct actually makes more sense because then it goes straight to this food processing. Okay. So we do have our monument. Wow. And they're working on some of these other fun things. So I guess we'll let this be what it's going to be. I know I'm still super behind on chat. I'm trying. What about using clutch instead of pausing the sources? Do they load in that case? I could not tell you. Hey, Roy. Good to see you. By the way, Roy, if you're still in chat, I'm planning on streaming Satisfactory tomorrow, and I know you like to show up for some of those previous streams. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. Speaking of future playthroughs, does the Apocalypse mode come with a mod for Apocalypse Bird to visit? Oh, I don't know if you got one. Send a link to it. Okay. Yeah, now we're just now getting to the point with me reading chat where I can actually see people's responses to some of the stuff I've said. Well, being scored 19, that's good. Probably don't need triple speed anymore. Let's see. It's fine decor for me. I was just expecting one more monument. Some basic recreation is nice, but if they're building a ton, you have to prioritize it. Yep. You got it. I don't have enough planks to build the Wonder of... Not the Wonder of Fire. That's the Ember Pelts. The Flame of Unity. So I think probably... And I'm... Okay, yeah, I'm basically out of time now. One of the things we should probably do soon is plant more trees or harvest more. I know we could get the mangroves, but I'd like to use those for food, if possible. So we'll need to build a tree farm. Probably next stream. Don't know exactly when that's going to be. But we'll get there. Okay, I want to catch up on chat, and then probably when we get to the end of that, I will need to end stream, and then it'll probably match up with the start of the drought, which would be a good point. Do we have a Gary? Yes, we have Gary, the weather station, who controls the bad tide defense system, and then we have not Gary, the weather station, who controls the water pumps. Oh, and you guys literally said that 14 minutes ago, but that's fine. Timberborn is not a game where normal versus hard is easy versus the real game. It's really more the pacing of your playthrough. Okay, I can get behind that. People get big head syndrome with 6,000 followers to 23,000. It's a great time to pull that card. Okay, fundamentally, I don't consider myself to be a person who's entitled to things, and I don't want to become like that. And in fairness, in the grand scheme of things on YouTube, 23,000 is basically zero in terms of subscribers. Not to diminish anything that we've done or anything that anyone has contributed to with any of this. It's just the reality of a platform with so many 1 million subscriber accounts that you probably couldn't ever in a lifetime have enough spare time to watch anything that all of them produce. It's still, like, for reference, you're not eligible to even be considered to have a dedicated YouTube partner liaison until you're at like what 250,000 subscribers or something. And even then, you're gonna have you're gonna be sharing that person with like a couple thousand channels, and you're probably only getting one-on-one if you have, I don't know. I won't say the name of the channel in case bots or AI or whatever start somehow associating me with anything, but very large channels who market to children or people with very short attention spans, which obviously this is not. You want to see Gary? 14 minutes later. This is Gary. He has an anemometer and he has a wind vane. This is not Gary. He's flipped. Now we see Gary and not Gary. Did you reconnect the oil press to automation? Maybe not by the time you sent that comment, but yes, we did. If you contrast that with RPGs, there's some games like, what is EBF 5? Do not know what that is. Playing on Epic is basically its standard difficulty. Timberborn, not much. Why would the platform you're playing on have a bearing on difficulty? 13 minutes behind on chat. Technically 15 now. Show us Gary, show us Gary. Yes, here you go. Here's Gary. If it says demand is greater than 400, shut down or run. That is to activate the circuit, which the default activated state is on. You could flip it with a NOT gate if you wanted to, but you don't need to do that because you could just change the demand to be less than 400, and it would do the same thing. Let's see. Rotate power meters. Yep, we did that. Discovered quantum mechanics. Oh god, that would be a horrible thing for me to be in charge of quantum mechanics. We demand Gary to be shown with also not Gary. Okay, well, you got that wish. Frog statue, I don't know. I don't know if Frog statue's updated for 1.0. If it is, let me know and I'll add it. But see, now I feel bad because he's doing a great job of adding a lot of nice things for the beavers, but now he has to read 10-minute offset stuff where I try to get his attention, but he's already did what I asked 5 minutes after, which is 5 minutes before he would read it. Yeah, that's the way it goes on YouTube. Now it scrolled me all the way down again. Okay, here we are. Just got home from work. How's the playthrough going? I say 12 minutes later. Going pretty well. Learning some automation stuff. Got distracted a couple times talking about various things. But we now have, theoretically, 6 different food sources. It should be 7, but I don't think we have any corn because they haven't picked it because we didn't have enough beavers, but now we should have enough for them to get to it eventually. Apologies about the monument. No, you're fine. You're fine. Remember, this is a gameplay stream. I should be playing the game. So for you to say, hey, play the game or do this, unless I've already asked you to, like, you know, stop saying play the game. Like, that's a valid thing. You're fine. Would a tutorial on logic gates help, and why you'd need them? Objectively, yes, but I cannot promise that I'm going to retain the information presented to me outside of the context of me actively doing it. So I'm not gonna ask anybody to either make or provide me with that. I'm still in pretty busy space in real life for the next at least month and a half. So part of the reason why I'm doing these streams is to provide the combo of, hey, let's have fun playing Timberborn, and I also need to learn automation. Let's see. Distinction between you need a mega windmill part to research the mega windmill and you can dismantle mega relics for mega research for mega windmills is important. That was way far back in the chat history, and I think I've, at this point, my brain has locked itself out of that discussion. But yes, that is true. Second farmhouse on platforms in the corn pond. I don't have a path, and we already built it anyway. But probably after you sent that comment, we don't have a path going through here, and I didn't want to get rid of cassava. Let's see. Never played Satisfactory. If I like Timberborn, would I like that? I don't want to say no, but it's different enough that it may not be your cup of tea. Satisfactory is a first-person game where you control a character and you have a build gun. You have a thing that you build buildings with, and you automate things with belts and mining machines and processing machines and power infrastructure. But it is very much a time-consuming game because you have to walk or drive or use the hyper tubes, or super late game you get teleporters if you unlock those. But it is a fundamental... Oh, here I said I was going to end the stream when the drought started, and we're still not done. It is a similar type of game in the sense that it's resource management, and you can't alter the landscape directly in Satisfactory, but you can exploit resources found on the map to create things. You can build buildings, you can create transportation networks. So it's very similar, but it approaches it from a different perspective that not all people are a fan of or necessarily have time to. Where Timberborn, you can have a functioning colony of a respectable size if you know what you're doing inside 30 minutes to an hour. But Satisfactory, to fully complete the game, probably requires at least 1,000 hours, unless you are just absolutely cracked at automation stuff and optimization. I really love the game, though, so of course I'm going to recommend people try it, but I do know some people that don't like it because of the time investment. Don't feel like that's worth it. Could add stairs on both ends of the farmhouse lake to improve farmer efficiency. There's no stairs going into the lake at all. Or you were talking about this. Okay, that's probably what it... That's probably... They still haven't gotten to the corn except for a tiny bit. Again, I apologize. This is why I try not to get too behind on chat, because then I'm talking about stuff that we've already solved that people have commented before I solved it. Logic gates are standard Boolean logic. Well, yeah, but I still have to, I still have to know how to do it and chain things together with physical representations of ideas that I don't fully understand yet. JC and RCE are the reason I got the game, and my 6-year-old son always wants to play after watching what you guys do. Yes! Yes, and that is a very good thing to introduce to kids at a young age, so they can grasp concepts and be productive and well-informed adults. And also why I try very hard not to swear or talk about really controversial stuff on these streams when I can, because I know people watch with their kids. And that's a nice thing to be able to do with your kids, and for the kids to do with their parents, even if they're not going to appreciate it until they're in their 20s and they realize that, oh, my parents actually tried really hard, even if they weren't right all the time. Anyway, not to get all sentimental in chat here. Okay, see ya, Kurt. Sorry, it's 8 minutes after you say goodbye, but thanks for hanging out as always. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting caught up, and YouTube always scrolls me to the very bottom of chat, so I can't remember where it was. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Frog statue's updated. Okay, I will probably forget, but I'll try to remember to download that when I finish the stream here in a second. Someone died. Not gonna say who. That means it was War Master. So, that's the wrong button. So now we find our youngest beaver. Me too. And rename. There we go. Those of you who do not know, War Master somehow was able to donate what 200 gifted subs, memberships. I always call them subs. I don't know why. In the first stream, and obviously that is an enormous deal. So I named a beaver after him. Okay. Thanks for the Satisfactory notes. Might not be my cup of tea, but I'll check out playing it. Yeah, absolutely. Come on by. It's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow, wherever time that is for you. And I like Satisfactory. I think it's fun. Thank you to the 253 of you currently watching, by the way. I know it's not exciting watching me sit here and read chat, but it is very important to me that I acknowledge the people who are here spending time, taking time out of their days. Let's see. I was talking about adding stairs into the lake and out of the lake so the upper farmhouse can access the soybeans completely. So, farmhouses actually don't rely on pathing for distance. They just have range. So if I were to add stairs here and here, I don't know that it would actually add that many, but honestly, there's no reason not to have those. So what would be the shortest path? Probably this. There's no reason not to have them, so we might as well. They can get the wet fur bonus also. I don't know that this has actually added anything. Let me take this away so it will... Okay, so you can see in real time, this currently has boundaries here. Missing these two and missing this one in the corner. If I put stairs in, then this gets this one. That's the only add. Let's see if I can find a way to get this to be more. No, I cannot. It seems this is already too far. So, I guess if I moved this staircase here, then I could move this staircase here. That would be a more direct route. That might do something. It's worth a shot. Unfortunate about the uncomfortable Shinkansen seats. I have not been on one of the new Amtrak trains that has the European-inspired seats that so many people won't stop complaining about. So I cannot commiserate with you, but noted. Warmaster 76. Are we going to increment the names or the numbers of the Warmasters? I'm making dinner, so this is basically a podcast. Okay, well, yeah, I know there's plenty of people that watch that way. That's helpful. Okay, that was immediately a huge improvement. Good. Thank you for suggesting that. I don't remember who it was, unfortunately. It was only 200. You say as if 200 is not already just an unbelievably huge number of memberships to supply to the community. Let's see. Worth noting, the stairs would also improve the other farmhouse's efficiency walking to and from. Yeah, you know, I don't know about for any of these, but well, maybe. Put the farmhouse over the water. We absolutely could and probably should have. Pathway doesn't actually matter for farmhouse distances. The pathway would only make a difference if these two stairs were also connected. Here, because then that would mean if I had to delete a crop or something, then the builders could get there. That for right now, it doesn't matter. Okay. It is... Oh, wow, it's almost 9 o'clock and I need to record a video for tomorrow. So I think this is going to have to be where I end this stream, unless there's anything like just ridiculously pressing I need to take care of in game. But thank you guys for hanging out and teaching me a little bit about automation. I know we had tangents and all that, but that's part of the deal. I'm very appreciative of each and every one of you who are here, spending time out of your day to have a little bit of fun with the beavers and just relax. Don't forget tomorrow, Satisfactory, if that's your thing. Would love to have you there. We'll be starting fresh in 1.2 and the Rocky Desert biome, which I've never played before. And yeah, it should be fun. Like I said, Timberborn tomorrow, and then we're going to be getting back into Ant Farm also this week. And whenever I've got the time to get Project 1K wrapped up, I will. But it's, like I said a long time ago, it's going to be 30 to 50 hours of work. So, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.